Dude,
I'll do it first.
You should totally do an install video.
I'm gonna do a
and I know it's just like literally just popping it off and popping it on.
Oh, that's not bad. Like I would have done them for the backseat and the saddlebag if I had been doing YouTube at the time.
Hey man, I did a headlight install, but as well, but I still managed to make 20 minutes out of a seat install.
That's stretching it.
Yeah, well, it's because when I do install videos, I do it as like a here's my journey, not here's how you do this. So I spent like 20 minutes trying to figure out what in the heck Corbin was thinking with their front tab and the bolt in the back. Like when you first put it on, you really have to force it on there to shove it on to actually align right. So I was like, I better give them a call before their seat breaks my bike.
Corbin installed mine, so.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh wait, no. I think I was talking to someone who actually lives really close to them, and they just kind of went to their place in Nevada.
Yeah, I think. Well, it's the one in California that Meatball went to.
Oh yeah, California too.
Hollister.
Yep, I got it custom shaped.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one looks like it sits back a little bit more. So that's usually how I sit on there. So I was like, I'll take it just the way it is. And so I told the lady on the phone.
So we were live, by the way. I'm seeing that now. I guess we were doing that. Hello, everyone. Everyone in the chat. And all that.
Hey, we got Chad and Stoked showing up already.
Yeah, we kept talking. It was at 0, so I was like, "Oh, let's keep the conversation going."
Are we at
0? Live?
We actually can't.
We got a couple people on there right now.
Hello, people.
They're probably just
action.
Yeah. So I guess we don't have our host this week with Dazzle.
No.
Dazzle Rebel Rise.
Yeah. So do we have any Indian anyone wanted to mention right off the bat?
Kind of. I was watching your interview there, Bearded, with Stevie TV, and you guys were talking about the comms systems.
Yeah.
I also use a Cardo, and I'm just wondering what everybody else is using, if anything at all.
That'll be good when you come down.
Yeah, I did a lot of research on mine, went right to Pack Talk. I mean, I know guys use the Senna, and there's a little backpack thing on there, so you can dual vlog with GoPro. I know Cardo doesn't offer that. Hopefully they do eventually, but I think it is the best system out there. Unfortunately, I still have problems.
Oh, shit. Thank you.
Good call.
We were just sitting there chilling before the stream started, so I didn't think twice of it.
I also use a Cardo, by the way, just to let you know.
What's a Cardo?
Earpiece.
Yeah, it's another intercom system, but their Pack Talk system the last 2 years has beat up Senna.
The Pack Talk will let you link up to 15 riders. You can actually link up to 32, I believe, with the new firmware update.
Yeah, I don't have friends. I don't need that.
The Fort 9 was saying like they potentially can get it to where it's like thousands if it was physically possible to have everybody next to each other.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not getting the mile out of, like, here in British Columbia, there's a lot of hills, trees, mountains, etc. You're not getting a mile out of it, but I mean, I've ride with 4 guys, we all have it, and it's great.
I think we lose
like it was 3 people.
Yeah, it's like about 3/4 of a mile, but that's only if we're on the back roads, not in like all the city. Once you're like in some city stuff, then you're losing it. But overall, our intercoms have been working great. I didn't want to do that. I wasn't going to do the Pack Talk because I didn't think I need it. I'm using the Freecom 4, but with my lady, her sister's bike is back going. Her dad, his lady on the back of the bike is going to have one, and then my dad's getting his bike. And I was like, well, you guys all could have figured this out, so I could have figured out my shit. But
yeah, they'll sync to a Senna, but you're doing it over Bluetooth, and the connection's not as good.
No.
And with the old.
What do they sync with otherwise?
Freecom 4. So what's that?
What do they sync with if not Bluetooth?
Well, they call it DMC, a dynamic mesh connection or something like that. So what it is if there's 4 riders and this guy's the captain, if you will, if he syncs out, the connection will just work its way down the line. And the more people you have, actually, the stronger the connection is. because they're all talking together and creating their own network.
I wonder what standard that is. Like what, I guess, frequency band. I mean, it's not Bluetooth if it's stronger from other connections, but.
I'm down here. You're talking to me up here.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Probably some radio frequency.
My eyes are up here.
Yeah. No, like you're over my head. I don't know. I'm sure they got some stuff you can read up on, but I've been happy with it. It's been good, and
I chose it because it's easy to operate with gloves. There's, the buttons are separated.
Yeah. And you can use your phone, like you hit the bottom button, and for me, Siri comes up. I can voice command Siri, text, call, navigation, anything right from my Brandon looks confused.
It'll do it with Google and like Android stuff also.
Yeah.
And then their new piece looks like it's even better. It's going to have like a dial system and JBL audio. It linked up with them recently, and that one comes out next year. So I'm waiting to do the Pack Talk when that comes out.
Yeah, my Pack Talk speakers, they do an upgrade for them, but I haven't gotten it yet. That is the one thing. The speakers aren't that great. I mean,
you probably have. How long ago did you get them?
Over a year ago.
Okay, yeah, because I think I have the newer ones because I tried getting the other ones to go in my other helmet because I had the Freecom one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I bought a couple before they fully got them out of Chaparral and all the stores because none of them sound good except for their HD ones, and they come with.
Mine sounds really good. The speaker was a lot larger. I had to kind of cut out in my helmet to get them to fit. The sound quality is really good though.
So, I thought my first ones were good, and then I upgraded with this one, and then I went back to the other ones, and I couldn't hear anything, and I just was like, oh, I guess it's just I got too used to the new ones, I guess.
Wow.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
But what else? What else is going on, guys?
I had a question for everybody since we always talk about the FTR, and might as well get that way out of the way. If you had to pick one of the collections, what would you guys pick?
I was just about to get to that. I was just about to say because so I'm more minded around the whole of the event of EICMA, but Indian had the collections, like you just said, from EICMA, and I was like, I saw what they're trying to do. I saw the touring collection, and my first thought was, what business is that of yours? What business of that? And then I saw it, and I was like, how did they make that bike look that good for what that thing was intended for? Like for the touring collection, I haven't looked too much at the tracker or the sport or
the rally.
The rally looks good with that white paint job and that exhaust.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone.
The street.
What I think is bitching is that they're just tank covers. So if you want to go back to having the FTR for street use or whatever, and then for most of the part, it's a look. And I think the touring, I'd mix touring and rally is my go-to because it looked bitching in person too.
It's like the differences are so subtle. The sport collection has. Did they team up with Akrapovic for that? No, they did that for the rally collection. Okay.
I mean, they're all gorgeous. Let's just get that out of the way.
I like them all, but I think the sport collection is just. I would be too afraid to ride it. It's just so pretty.
The touring has the exposed trellis frame, if you will, or something around the seat, whereas the tracker's got that covered up with the number plate. I mean, that's very true to that original concept, I think. When I see that bike, I see the concept.
Also, the rally's coming with spoke wheels. The others are all
I saw him take that thing off road in the trailer, and I'm like, okay, I want to do that. I want to take this bike off road.
Well, one of the guys, there's a sorry to interrupt you there. There was a guy on Instagram. He was flat track racing in the bobber. He was right sideways on that thing. I don't know if I could find it, but
flat track makes sense though, because that's the intended purpose, and I would
not
think
for the bobber.
Oh, I'm sorry, you said the bobber. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my thinking is I'm just looking at the upside down forks that the FTR has, and it's like that's maybe 7 inches of travel, I would think. At least at top anyway. But taking this off road, it's probably going to be a little bit of a rough ride.
Yeah, I mean, you can still swap that stuff out with some Supercross equipment. Just go big.
Yeah, then you got a DR 650 issue on your hands.
Yeah,
a lot of weight up top.
Yeah, but still, if you can keep it up, if you got all that power, fuck, man, that'd be fun.
Oh yeah, I'm not arguing against it. This thing is a sport bike to me, and the idea of using, at least for the collection that they have, I don't know that I'd feel comfortable trying to keep that thing level and not, it's like basically kind of like, to me anyway, it's kind of like basically racing an Evo in Dakar.
I think the closest thing for me for the FTR, I think it's between the Ducati Scrambler and the Ducati X Diablo. I think it is. I think it's between the Scrambler and the regular Diablo, because the Diablo is essentially the flat track with more power. Because the Diablo Strata does the same thing as the Touring Pack does for the FTR. So that's what I think about it.
I won't know shit till I read it.
Brandon, there is a picture of you, like the stock Google images. It's you and your Indian Scout off-road, the bobber.
Are you serious?
It's pretty badass. It's like, yeah, Indian image, and then Brandon Bicasso.
Dude, you gotta send me that. My off-roading was like
looking hard as fuck. You got dirt in the tires, up in the radiator, on the back fender. I remember
it's
this.
Like, how much mud can I get on this bike today?
You're the 12th image, actually. Yeah.
Wait, what did you type in?
I just typed in Indian Bobber Off-Road.
Oh, Indian Bobber Off-Road.
And then images, and Brandon's at the top, like number 3.
Oh, wow.
I'm trying.
You're big time now.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Who's number 1?
Alrighty, then. Don't know how much mud I had to get off this thing. But yeah, I'm excited for the FTR. As soon as they get one at the dealership, I'm gonna make that move to ride it. Do you guys think they're gonna have the different trims there, or just the one
I think you have to
itself?
order them.
I think.
Well, I was thinking for demo.
I'm not going to mention any names or locations. It's let's say an off location nowhere near me that I talked to somebody when they had the FTR there for just the show. And when they were going through it, that bike had over 100 miles on it already. And it's supposed to go from the trailer to in the dealer and back and not even beyond.
The guy didn't park very close. He was parked really far away, so he had to walk it.
They're not even supposed to record them starting the bike up for like the employees and stuff.
That's going to be a test model.
Yeah.
So
Have they announced when they're going to be making it available for test rides?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think I've got emails sent to the 2 dealerships within driving distance of me, and it kind of sucks because everyone I've talked to in like forums, they say, well, my dealership's supposed to get one in October. This is a little while back. My dealership's supposed to get one in December, and I'm sitting here thinking, wow, I've been told nothing but after New Year's, and test rides won't be available for a while because they'll be flying off the shelf, so to speak.
Yeah, but my dealer told me, the actual sales guys told me they'll be arriving in March, and they've sold quite a few. Like when it was first announced, they sold 4 in the first couple of days. People ready to come pick them up, and then test rides. They're telling them nothing right now to the dealers because they're saying that they're thinking these bikes are just going to sell without test rides, and they don't want people to test ride them just.
Yeah, some dealerships actually have them on the floor. You just can't test ride them.
Mm.
From what I've heard, I think Dan the Fireman has one at his dealership in Arizona.
I know when he was looking at it last, it was when the demo guys were there. The demo truck that went to his place was the same one that came to mine.
Oh, that could be it too then.
Yeah, because they had it on the floor. And what is it? Yeah,
That
He does all
could
kinds
be.
of clickbait with that stuff. So
Yeah, summer demo days are going to be nuts.
Yeah. I'd imagine if we do demo days, you're going to get there, like, be the first person there.
camping outside like Black Friday.
Yeah, at the
But I think he'll put
that's a video. That's a video right there. Live streaming from the tent, like outside the dealer.
Right from the GoPro 7, the live stream.
Yep, live stream with the GoPro.
Yeah, I was a little off topic, but you guys remember the Evil Knievel jumps in Vegas recently?
Travis Pastrana.
Well, the guy that did the demo ride, and he's like been with Polaris and stuff for a while. Apparently, Harley Davidson got the first phone call to do that, and Harley Davidson didn't even call them back. The History Channel is the one that set up the whole thing, and then they called Triumph, and Triumph said they'd love to, but they their funding was done for the year or whatever.
Wait a
and
minute.
when
they wanted to contact the other motorcycle.
They weren't doing Indian first.
The jump.
Yeah, History Channel called Harley first. Harley didn't call him back, and then when
Evil rode the Harley, right? That was his bike.
Yeah, that's why I was like, why didn't Harley? Yeah, I was like, why didn't they do this?
They've been messing up lately, man.
And I think they're really noticing that. But apparently, when they called Indian, Indian didn't hang up the phone. They just stayed on the phone and they worked out that deal, and that's why we got to see all the Scout doing the shit, which Indian keeps on their marketing team. Hands down to them because they've been killing that shit.
Exactly what they did with Adam Sandoval when he when Harley dropped him. Indian swooped in and gave him a chieftain to ride and finish his tour.
Who is that?
Adam Sandoval.
Oh yeah, Sandoval. Yeah, he's the guy
that ran across America. He went to all the dealerships, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got the Harley still.
Bike.
Yeah, he's got the bike on display at his campgrounds. That was the first bike to do it or whatever. I didn't know if he finished it with another bike because he said that bike is the one that went to all the Harley dealers and it was like a first time ever thing.
But I think he's got that bike and Chieftain.
That one, he's got the Harley on display, and then in his garage he's got the
Dark Horse.
He's got the Dark Horse, but he's also it's not the Street Glide, it's the other one. It's the fixed fairing. The Road Glide. So he's got that one, and then he's got the Chieftain Dark Horse.
Fixed fairings Road Glide, yeah.
Wow. I like that dude's videos.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, his videos are awesome.
Yeah, so when is Indian going to be reaching out to Rikki Rocket? What the hell?
I know, right? I know
rides on his own.
I know he posted Sturgis brought him the Indian dealer in Sturgis brought him a bike, but I don't know if that was Indian or if that was Sturgis.
We're gonna get TV ads with Poison playing in the background. We gotta have it.
Gotta get him in here.
Christopher said Adam has an Ultra Glide without the truck.
Ultra Glide. I was like, I didn't think it was a Road Glide, but I couldn't remember.
I think that isn't that the one that has the 114 that blew up in it because of the oil pump.
What? I shouldn't be laughing at that. I'm sorry.
I was like,
114 put in there and engine blew. The oil pump failed on, so I'm guessing the engine blew. But he was getting it replaced at the time, so that's why he needed a bike. An Indian swooped in and saved the day. But
smart on their part.
Oh yeah, genius, man.
What do you guys? How close are you guys getting to having to replace your tires already?
On the bobber?
Yeah, on the bobber. Well, I know you did yours. You swapped yours out.
I did mine at 5,100 miles.
And what'd you replace it with?
Michelin Commander 2s. They're supposed to get anywhere from 15,000 to 25,000 miles on them.
And you went with stock size?
Yes, and on the back, sorry for the water noise, guys. That's fun.
Very good.
In the back, it looks. You can kind of see it in my video at the end. It's got a gap. It doesn't look as big as the knobby tires that come with it, but in the front, it filled out perfectly. So I'm wondering if I can go a little bit bigger in the back, but
I'm looking at a rear view of the bobber right now on the stock Kenda tires, because my whole thing was I didn't really love the rear view of the bike with the 150, and I'm looking at this one and I think it's gorgeous. Go figure. But guys are getting 180s on the back of their stock rim and working.
That's good to know. Yeah, I'd probably go with that next if
that's what I'm thinking is going to happen here.
Definitely a cheaper option than going with that 240 setup.
Well, so I've done one too many burnouts apparently, and I need a new tire. And it does happen. And so a new tire for me is about 250, and on Fort 9 for the Avon Cobras and a 180, it's like 218. So it's a no-brainer. Like, I'm gonna do it, but I'm just seeing if you guys have changed or had any experience on those or not.
No, I was like, when I was looking them up, I was like, I think the Cobras were one of the good ones that for handling and all that stuff. But I just went with mileage because I really don't get to do a whole lot. But those Commander 2s work great for normal canning stuff that I do. I'm not trying to go out there and be Daredevil or anything.
I love my Cobras.
Yeah.
I haven't tried Cobras. The bike that I had Cobras for, I was going to put them on, and then I wrecked it. So
I can have it over here because it's a cold one.
But
I've never had Cobras on the bobber, but I've only run Cobras on my Suzuki.
Yeah, well, that's what I had mine on. I didn't Cobras, but I had the predecessor. I had the Venoms, and when I put those on, and I left the parking lot, the shop that put it on there, it was crap. My bike just lost 200 pounds. It just started handling like a razor.
Yeah,
beautiful tires. I love those.
Yeah, I think the tire profile makes a difference on the handling.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's what Triumph did get right with their bobber because they put Avons on their stock.
Yeah, when in my video where I tested the bobber when they were kind of they were just touring it before they had a big media release, I noticed the Venoms on there or the Cobras on there right away, and I was like, oh, that's a good decision. That's a great factory start.
I like it. So it'd be interesting to see. I talking to the guys in the forums there where they said they fit the 180 on the stock rim, but you are like within 1/8 of an inch from your subframe.
Wow.
But it'd be interesting to see, like, I bottom out that suspension if I hit a bump and I don't see it coming. So
it'll self-clearance.
It definitely self-clear. I just don't want it to self-clearance my matte paint job.
Yeah, I wish the
fender.
Oh, go ahead.
You're fine. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I wish that's one biggest gripe for me about the bobber was not having even though it's a bobber look, I wish it had a bigger back tire, like at least like a 180.
Do they offer the like 200 tire for the bobber like they do the Scout?
They do, but they you can fit a 200, but not on the stock rim and not with the stock subframe. You have to get rid of it. I like right on John. He did his, and he can fit. His is a 200, and I think there's that 240 kit.
Too, man.
There's that 240 kit you can put on, and that I think you keep the stock subframe on that one, just a new rear fender and whatnot. But
see, I'm kind of old school with that. I really don't like the look of a fat rear end. I like the look of like those, like the 2-stroke sport bikes from back in the 80s and 90s where it's like a bicycle tire.
Rolling on pizza cutters.
Yeah, you're going 200 miles an hour on a weed whacker engine.
When men were
That's what I've seen in Singapore. They have these small displacement motorcycles.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they got 110s front and rear.
Mm-hmm.
They're skinny.
They're cheap.
That's why.
Yeah.
Keep it sketchy.
When I was out in Japan on like Friday and Saturday night, all these performance scooters would come out of the works, man. 1,000 cc step through frame scooters, absolutely, full neon lights, everything you would think about in Japan to be. And they were so cool, man. Big old wide fat tires on the back of a scooter. Nothing to play with though, man. Those things will fuck you up.
I want to go to Japan. Everything there seems so cool. It's so weird.
Yeah, they're about 10 years in the future.
Yeah. Bo Suzuki bites. So, in other news that I don't know that we've discussed in a live chat yet, I don't know, I missed the last one. How do you guys feel about the? I don't know if you guys really keep up with the flat tracking racing or not, but how do you guys feel about Indian getting the shit end of the stick with the new rules?
I didn't hear about them.
Okay, so basically, Indian was the only manufacturer that made a race-ready bike that is not able to be turned street legal, and that has a lot to do with, I think, something with the frame and obviously all the electronics. Kind of the same thing you'd have to go through to make a dirt bike street legal. But there's a bunch of rules regarding like throttle body size. They've upped the displacement allowance from 750 to 900 cc. They said something about production engines are also allowed to change out all internal components, including crankshaft, cams, pistons, conrods, and valves, which puts Indian at a disadvantage because all of their engine internals were made for that already. And basically, it's kind of just leveling the playing field. And Indian was like, okay, we're okay with all of these rules because we want a fair game. We want a fair playing field. But these two, it was like two specific rules, I think it was. Oh, no. They said, we take serious issue with the third rule change, allowing production engines to increase from the 38 millimeter throttle bodies to the 40. This rule excludes Indian motorcycle racing because the Scout FTR 750 is not a street legal production motorcycle. Not only does the rule singularly handicap Indian motorcycle, it represents a significant impairment of our ability to compete on an equal level with every other team in the paddock, specifically on mile tracks, because they were saying like for the mile tracks that have the longer straightaways, theirs don't perform at like something about the the rev range where they won't have the same amount of power as the other bikes, like so they can't flat out as well. So they said we've done extensive testing in this area, and our results have shown that the 40 millimeter throttle bodies produce 20 to 22% more airflow than the 38s. In previous years, the larger throttle bodies have been allowed, but limited specifically to larger production motors. This will be the first time that smaller, lighter production motors, similar in dimension and weight to the FTR 750, will be able to increase the throttle body sizes, creating a significant advantage over larger, heavier motors, let alone the FTR 750, for which this allowance does not apply.
So are these rules in effect, or are they still able to fight it before like the next go around?
I don't think they're going to try and fight it. I think they're going to try and adjust. I think this goes into effect next season. I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure this next season.
I think everybody was tired of Indian taking the podium every time.
I didn't mind.
I never mind either.
It was like the top three people were on Indians almost every time.
You know, I'll say this. I haven't been following the flat tracking, but I was a NASCAR fan for 15 years. And when Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson and the whole Hendrick team started dominating the class completely, picking your nose there, buddy.
It's itchy, man. It's itchy. I'm so sorry.
Hey, solidarity. Come on.
When that one team started dominating so much, they went and changed the rules, and then they started changing the rules more, and they started changing the rules more, and effectively they destroyed the entire sport because they tried to stop one team from winning, and then that one team won anyways and dominated the entire thing. So I think that yes, they're probably, in my opinion, from what you described, they're probably tinkering with the rules to get Indian off of that top podium. But I think that's a bad decision. All the other teams need to step up their game. You don't handicap the fastest horse.
You know?
That's the millennial way. That's how they give everybody a participation ribbon now.
Oh yeah, everybody gets a trophy. But you know, that's just stupid, man. Everybody else needs to step up their game. You don't just blob a leg off the winning horse.
Well, competition breeds innovation, right?
Yep.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Well, they're going to have three classes, I thought. That's the protection class that they have those rules, I believe.
I'm not sure. It's weird because it's like, you know, motorcycle racing, at least for flat track, isn't like NASCAR, I believe, where they have stock car, rules where everything has to be the same. Obviously there are obviously different engines and all of that. But I think was Yamaha. I think Yamaha was like Indian's biggest competitor last season. Basically, they were the people who were coming in, or providing the biggest threat.
Is this televised? Or is it on the internet or something? Someplace I can see this?
That's the thing. It's like I think for some, I haven't had cable since 2004, but I think it is televised on some
like speed channels.
Yeah, like maybe
it's the NBC Sports Channel. Yeah. They'll do it like a week or two afterwards.
Well, there was a race that was planned around me. It was up in Maryland somewhere. But as far as being able to see it, I've only seen like web hosting like 2 weeks after the fact.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, it's something I would actually watch. I mean, I was never a NASCAR fan. I find it hard to watch things just go in circles the whole time. Like I love Formula One. I love like boat racing and all the stuff that's just nuts. Like Isle of Man TT, I'll watch that all day, any day. But I haven't actually been able to see a flat track race.
When I was a kid, my dad took me to Ascot Speedway when I was, 5 or 6 years old. One of my earliest racing memories, and got to see flat track racing and midget outlaw racing. I think is Ascot still around? Out in it's Riverside or something, or down in Orange County somewhere. Anyway, that was one of my earliest memories. That's what got me into cars and motorcycles and anything that goes fast.
There's when I was at the motorcycle show in January, there was a local flat track club racing series or whatever. I bet you they're around, like an amateur. I bet you if you guys Google it, you probably find some local races near you.
Chris Lawson in the chat was saying Indian took 14 out of 15 at the Sturgis race this summer. Does that mean they took 14 positions or 14 out of 15 racers?
It's probably the 14 out of 15. I think the Sacramento Mile out of the 18 in the finals, at least 12 were on Indians.
Yeah, okay.
They're dominating.
Absolutely. Okay, yeah, he says, Two-Lane Blacktop says top 14 spots, so thanks for clarifying.
Well, I still think that, the other teams, the other manufacturers need to get better. You don't just change the rules, but
yeah, just because they're stuck in the same place they've been for years now.
I think their concern is we don't want to have to put a bike in one out of every 50 showrooms we own that costs $50,000 that no one will ever buy for the street because they can't.
Well, I don't know what to tell them, man. Leave the sport.
Just
quit.
Just have Indians. It'll just be Indian flat track racing. No competitor.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
So in other motorcycle news, what do you guys think is the sexiest bike unveiled at EICMA that isn't Indian?
No, if it's not Indian, nobody says nothing.
Nothing.
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and say that as far as the interesting, weird decision to go vintage with one of the worst looks of the vintage bikes, I really appreciate the new Suzuki Katana, even with that square headlight.
Yeah, that design to me just doesn't work. But I mean, I really loved the original Katanas, man. I was this close to buying one, but back in the day. But no, not interested.
I'm the other way around, and I think that's maybe just because I missed the boat as far as age on me goes for the first Katana. The first katana had some interesting ways that you could customize it, but overall, there are things from the 80s that I way love over the Suzuki katana, like the old Honda Interceptor, the 750 and the 1000, I believe, was just
the Hurricane, man. The original 1000 Hurricanes.
But I mean, well, the new Suzuki katana for. Sorry, guys, I'm a millennial, and this bike just does it for me.
Okay, no, it's all right. Teach their own.
It's something about like there's something so. I guess it's interesting. There's an interesting dynamic going on. So a lot of designs in the '80s were looking towards the future. They were future forward. They were angular. They were square and boxy. Like you think of like the DeLorean in the motorcycle context, and I see the new Suzuki Katana, and it's just like it's angular, but it's a big callback, obviously, especially with the name Katana. But no, I really dig it. I think it's really cool looking. I feel bad because I can't say that I'm going to buy one, but I really appreciate that they're making that.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay. It just looks very front heavy to me. The fairing just looks like it's way too far forward, and I can see that.
Oh, you know what? You're right. I'm looking at like the windshield on this thing, and it's like it's way down there. You get a fork, and that's it up front. That's all you get. I wonder. So I can't find a picture of its dash, but I would assume it's got a TFT dash like everything now. And yeah, it's just your handlebars are here, and it's way down here. That's where the dash is.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The beauty part is there's if you want a vintage bike, you can just everything's still out there. You can find a really nice version of anything, where somebody's kept a garage kept and it's low miles, and maybe you take it to a mechanic and have all the carbs done, and you've got whatever you want.
How's the sorry, go ahead.
I was just agreeing. Go ahead, man.
Chris, how's the stock exhaust treating you? You're back to that, eh?
Yeah, I've only ridden it a couple times. It's quiet. You know what? One of my biggest problems with the factory exhaust that I wanted to get rid of with the Rush racing pipes was that although I love the Indian Scout engine, one of my complaints about it is there's so much top of the engine noise. You hear the cams and the chain and all of it. And with this stock exhaust, you're sitting at a light, and that's all you hear is the top of the motor. Yeah. And I wanted to get rid of that. Unfortunately, I did actually kind of get rid of it. I can't hear it anymore because I fucked up my ears. So, I mean, it kind of worked. But,
we have to. I'm a carpenter by trade, for those that know or don't know. But so every, I think, 6 to 8 months, we have to get a workers' comp hearing test done. And I had one done last year, right before I got my bike, and got one done this year. And even with the Dazzle exhaust, no earplugs, no hearing loss. So we're good. It's not too loud.
That means keep doing it. Nothing's
That's
gonna.
Pretty, exactly. That's what I said to her. She's like, I'm like, it's exactly the same. She's like, yeah. I'm like, perfect. I keep riding my bike then, no problems.
It's from what I hear, hearing damage is mostly from very long-term exposure. It doesn't have to be powerful. It just has to be
constant. That constant, like whatever that noise is.
And you know what got me is I put that exhaust system on and I rode to Sicily 7.5 hours, and took a couple of days off and then 7.5 hours back, and that's what got my ear. Yeah.
I'll grant you that.
It's funny how that Scout engine is so loud. In the summertime, I got the pleasure ride with 2 other bobbers, and one guy had slash cuts. I don't know who made them, but pretty much a straight pipe. And the other guy just had like the Trask, but it wasn't Trask. And it is so friggin' loud. One of the guys that I ride with has got a Road Glide, and it's got a dirty bastard exhaust, whatever it is. It's also straight pipe. And that 1800 cc's, it hits you right in the chest. You feel it. But when I rev beside him, it's ear piercing. It is the loudest bike I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
It
sucks because the look of those Rush is like jewelry, man.
It was beautiful.
They are so high quality. The tips are machined I thought they were like, sheet metal or something, and they're machined diamonds, man. They're gorgeous. I paid dearly for them, and it bums me out.
Yeah.
So with the Scout exhaust, stock, I took a ride with one of the guys I met at my gym a little while back. He rides a Yamaha. It's not Raider, but it's got that 1800 motor in it. And it was before he put any exhaust on it. And he said, me riding in front of him with the stock exhaust, he said, I can hear that whine, the top of the engine noise you're talking about. He's like, I can hear that whine. It sounds like a jet engine if a jet engine were really quiet. So I know what you're talking about, but like with my exhaust, I've got the crap blanking on me. It's called the Brave. I remember it's the same name as my seat. It's called the Brave, the RPW, Rogue Pipe Works.
RPW, yeah.
Yeah, I've got that, and that thing. When I brought that home for the first day, my roommate said, "I heard you 4 corners ago." And I guess because I wear earplugs, I have to wear earplugs every time I ride, unless I'm riding literally 50 feet down the street. And it's like, I hear it in my head. It's a droning noise with the actual earplugs, but I haven't rode 7 hours to Sicily yet, so I guess that'll get
I don't think these, I could do touring, like I did this past summer with those pipes. That was the number one thing. Is just I went and bought the most dense earplugs that I could find. I researched earplugs and I found the most dense ones I could get, and that did not change. I would come home and my ear would be really ringing, and then it would calm down, and it's like I can't keep going riding and coming back, and my ears just screaming. It's just going to get worse and worse. So bums me out.
I bought my pipes with the explicit purpose of everybody a mile away from me being able to hear me on my daily commute to work. So touring, I haven't done it yet, but I mean, any noise, any small itch or any small sound will sound deafening eventually, I guess.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I did 26 years in a metal band. And my guitar player, who would have been standing on the left of me, that dude was deaf at the end. And so he had, 2 full stacks on his side, and he couldn't hear himself standing right in front of it. So I was just getting punished in this ear, and this is the ear that's blown up with the pipe. So it was strange. After all those years, my ears were ringing, and then that kind of went away, and then my hearing got really good. And I really didn't have any hearing problems until I put those pipes on, and then it all came back. So I just can't risk losing anymore. It's not worth it.
No, it's not. I think you only get 2 years, like they say.
Yeah.
Once they're done, they're done. That's it.
Yeah, but I went and got the chrome caps that go on the end of the pipe, so I got a little customization. It's not enough.
It definitely looks a lot better than the stock ones.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Have you tried modding the stock exhaust at all, like drilling them out or anything like that?
No, I've seen people who've done it, but when you take those end caps off, it's a completely sealed thing. I mean, it's welded closed. That tube is completely welded closed. So without really getting in there with some tools, and screw it, man.
Yeah, what I've seen them do is like factories cut them down.
The stage 2 or a stage 1 factory exhaust wasn't as loud, but sounded really thumpy.
Yeah, that's when I rode the Scout at the demo. They had it on there, and it had a really good throatiness to it. Sounded really good. You definitely heard it, but it was nowhere near. When I started my bike up to leave that day, everyone fucking knew that bike was completely different than what they had there.
Yeah. Well, that's California legal, so it's got to be quiet.
Chris, when you put the factory tune back on with the Power Vision, did you notice any handling differences back from when you had the other pipes on?
Handling which way?
I'm sorry, not handling, but like, acceleration, torque, figure, like low end, high end power.
I didn't, but what immediately went away was the rev matching and throttle response. And I wanted to actually contact Dynajet to ask them, is that a tune I can re-add, or was like the throttle response, the fact that the back pressure has been removed from the factory, and that makes it rev up quicker. But I'll tell you that rev matching was nice. That's one thing I seriously miss. I want that back.
Dynajet are good people, man. Like, you can email them with any request, and they'll just be like, "Yeah, try this file."
Okay. I just want the rev matching back.
Chris, you should be able to adjust the throttle response in the software.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, there are tools in the software that'll allow you to play with things, but I don't play with things that I just spent $9,000 on.
Yeah, that's me too. It's like, oh, great. I leaned it out and burned all the piston tops off.
Yep.
So the other option you have, Chris, is you could pay for a tune from Fuel Moto. It's like $126, and they'll work with you on tuning your bike.
Now, do I have to take it to a dyno or something?
No, they'll send you a tune, and you can ride it, and you can actually data log on your DynoJet. Send them that info, and they'll tweak where they want. It's not perfect because you won't have a wideband node 2, so they won't know exactly what's going on, but they can get it pretty close, at least safe for you to ride.
Interesting.
Yeah, the DynoJet, that Power Vision CX is a good little package.
Going on, but
yeah, I thought about putting it on the dashboard, but I'd be staring at it the whole time.
Yeah, I don't run mine on the dashboard either.
So I had the Fuel Moto USA tune in mine, according to the parts I have in it.
Okay.
Did he cut out, or was that his question?
Oh no, I had a Fuel Moto.
Yeah.
So I bought my Vision from them, which allows me to get tunes from them.
Oh, that's cool.
For life, yeah.
Yeah. So if I change a part, they'll redo the tune.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's who I recommend people do, because I didn't know that when I bought mine, last Black Friday. That was just, I just gotten the bike for like 3 months prior, and I had to do my own custom tune, but whatever.
To answer the question of, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name.
Yeah, me neither.
But so you said how much power does a reflash add? So we use the Power Vision X or CX. That's what we're talking about right now. It really depends on what you're doing with your setup. So you have the options of, like, you can do what I did and just change the exhaust and keep the stock intake. That will limit your ability to get any more horsepower squeezed out of it. But I mean, there's always something there from the factory that you can pull out. With the intake, especially with you get a Trask intake or a K&N, you can get a lot more. In my case, I actually lost a little bit of low end, which I actually preferred, because when I had the stock exhaust, just the smallest amount of throttle was enough to just jerk your whole body back. And then when I had the 2-into-1 pipe that I put on, the Power Vision, the DynoJet tune, smoothed it out really nice. But I have so much high end. It's crazy how much high end power I've got.
So I think we did touch base on this a little bit last time, but I don't know if you guys have dyno tuned your bike at all or done a dyno on it, but I did a baseline run stock on mine with 75 horsepower, and I did all my upgrades, which was exhaust, intake, and then a canned mat from DynoJet, and that got me around 84 horsepower to the wheel. And then I went to a custom dyno. He said it was about 15% lean across the board, and once he finished tuning it, I ended up with 96. So tuning plays a massive amounts of what you're going to see in returns. So the tune, those canned maps, like they're gonna tune it to the limit. They're gonna probably back it off. Let's call it 10%. I don't know, just because they don't want people suing them. Oh, you blew up my engine. You did this, did that, and they got to meet everybody's octane level and elevations, everything. Whereas if you go with the custom tune, they're setting it up to your bike for your elevation, for your gasoline, and you're running your engine to its peak performance. So tuning does play a huge part in my opinion.
Interesting.
Yeah. So just that custom tune netted me another 10 horsepower to the wheel.
Yeah, and the Chieftain, the Fuel Moto stock tune will add like 7 foot-pounds of torque and 3 horsepower just with the tune.
Wow, man. So did Meatball, did you take it to to a dyno shop or just with your vision?
Oh no, I haven't done it yet, but I've been looking at the different combinations I might want to do. So just the tune does that.
Very interesting. I can't wait to see where that goes.
It'll probably be late spring before I do that part.
Okay.
Chuckster's asking
more power.
A headlight from an FTR will fit a Scout. I've been asking that question since the day I saw that front end. Do you guys remember that promo video? It was all black, and then the headlight came on in the dark. Hence the T-shirt. I bought the FTR specifically for this headlight right here. I will find out if it fits. It will happen.
Mod that thing.
Oh, that headlight just tickles me in all the right places.
I told my salesman, I was like, I'm gonna take it right off the demo floor.
Yeah. You
show up with
run
tools.
it out with the little screwdriver.
Yeah.
Hey, we might be big, but we're like gazelles, man. We agile. You try to catch us, we'll get all greased up. They won't be able to grab us.
Oh, there you go.
You had to go there.
I did not. Oh, get that out of my head.
It's big boy
Hey,
love, man.
you
It's
put
the
it in
way
your
goes.
head. We just the words.
Where'd I miss?
Me and Jay want to get all
Auburn
greased
and I
up.
oil each other up.
I'm out.
We starting the pile? What's going on?
Yeah.
After watching Bearded's video last night, him talking about his thick thighs, it's like, Jesus, man. All the way through, my thick thigh got thick thighs. It's like,
Thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
Hey, I'm just trying to let people know if you got thicker thighs, you're burning the shit out of your leg on that FXDR.
Yeah.
You know what? I didn't. I didn't get through your whole video. I had to do some shit today, but I ended right around where you're talking about. You're at the stoplight, and you could flat foot the one side, but your leg was hitting the air intake. And I
when I go for the brake, yeah.
I actually found that I didn't hit on the FXDR.
I remember that in your video.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting it.
I do hit on the Fat Bob, but on the FXDR, yeah, it was not. I was surprised. That was a big. I made a comment about it.
Yeah,
I'm a 30-inch inseam as well.
Yeah, so I was like, when I saw your video, I didn't think I'd hit it, and then when I'd reach for the brake, like it was just kind of, I knew it was there, my leg was rubbing on it, but it was when I was standing that I'd get the heat. You missed it right after that turn right there is when I hit 90 over the bridge in Long Beach. I'm very happy they didn't do a demo ride. I love the sound that snorkel makes, man, just like sucking in the air.
Well, do you have an intake on your bike?
I don't, not yet.
That's a sound. I haven't been able to catch it on video yet, but you will hear it. Like, I mean, if you put an intake in your car, same thing. You'll hear the intake noise. I can actually hear my intake over my exhaust. When you really open it up, you'll hear it on this.
Yeah, as I have one on my my truck, and the second I put it on there, I was like, I know why I lost fuel, man. Like, fuel economy, because I can't keep my fucking foot out of it when I get on the freeway. I just love the sound. I was like, I have the exhaust and that, and it's supposed to help fuel economy, not for me.
That intake noise is something else, though. Man, if you can hear that, it's great noise. It's like, you guys ever seen an aerial atom?
Yeah.
It's like it kind of followed after like a Formula One car where the air intake is just right next to your head.
Yeah. I think, did you see, was it on Top Gear when Jeremy Clarkson, I think he's in one, and his face is just like, just going to shit in the wind. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the car. It's just like you hear this like right next to your fucking head as soon as you hit the gas. It's crazy.
Yeah. Bombshell bikers commenting on me coming to California. I've actually been planning this route already, so it's happening. It'll happen. I'll try to post up videos and meet as many guys as I can on the way down. It'd be pretty fun, I think.
I'm gonna see this now. Yeah, she's like, I don't have to worry about you with other. I don't have to worry about other girls. She's got to worry about motorcycles and all of you guys. Yeah.
We're gonna touch base.
Yeah.
There we go. That's funny. Yeah.
Any more questions in the chat room?
Yeah, we got this question from same guy. He said, can you unlock or can you override the Scout 60 factory limitations? I answered this already, but yeah, with the more in depth, with the Power Vision, you can do just about anything you want to do with that engine with the software provided. You don't even need a tune. You can set the idle speed. You can set the rev limiter. There's a lot of stuff you can do that I'm way too scared to do.
Yeah, and I mean those 60s, I dig those little bikes, man. They're freaking cool. And I've heard that the big bore kit that Revolution Performance putting out, you could actually attach it to a 60 and just make unreal power out of those little. They're like little sewing machines. Those things, they just rip.
I mean, could you theoretically just take the jugs off a full-size Scout and put them on a 60?
Maybe, I would imagine, but I don't know how cost effective that would be because the performance gains. I think if you fully tune out a 60, I think guys are getting like 84 horsepower, and a fully tuned 69,
no.
You're only getting 96.
No. People are actually getting full-size Scout power out of a 60. It's literally just with just an intake, a tune, and an exhaust. I think they're making stock Scout power.
Yeah, and
I've heard that before.
And so for $1,200 American for that big bore kit, I mean, buddy, if you can get what's the 60 worth in the States? Like
it's about $9,000.
It starts at $8,900, $8,999.
So for $9,000, that's brand new, right? So brand new bike for $9,000, you throw what, $3,000 at it for exhaust, intake, and big bore. You're into it for $12,000, and you've got a friggin' rocket.
That's what I was telling my dealer about it. He didn't even. My salesman didn't know. I told him I have to teach him how to sell Indians.
Yeah, Revolution Performance. They've on their website, or their Facebook, they've got a 60 with their jugs on it.
But man, it's so much easier to pay $3,000 and get your engine totally reworked than to have to paint the damn stock Scout frame black so you can get a Scout 60. I'm just being stupid here. I'm just saying, it's like, I love the way the Scout 60 looks. It beats the Scout in terms of looks. And of course, now with the bobber, they have the black frame too. So the Scout's the only one left out with that ugly gray frame. Yeah. But here's what you can't get from upgrading your engine. And
6 gear.
Exactly. This is exactly what I was about to say.
And you need it.
It's technically 5th gear. You have the same 6th gear as
that's
the
right.
Scout,
sorry. Yeah.
But they add the 5th gear in between them. Yeah. And I'll say this, on my daily commute, I use 5th gear way more than I thought I was going to. Because you can scream in 4th, but
you can scream in 2nd.
Oh, absolutely, you can. But with 5th gear, I mean, drop a gear and disappear as far as a cruiser can anyway. But I use 5th gear constantly, just pulling around cars that are going too slow on the highway when I'm going home.
Yeah, I use 4th for that. But
I mean, 4th is good, but like
Jay likes his power.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when you're really trying to make some noise.
Yeah, I used 5th the other night just to get away from assholes trying to follow me too close.
I feel like the full-size Scout 5th gear is just, when I'm going 60 and I immediately want to go 100, 5th gear is the perfect ratio.
Yeah.
So try 3rd.
Yeah,
but you're right about in the power band.
I was gonna say 2nd gear. You're doing, in my case, you're doing 50 kilometers an hour, so it's about like 30 miles, and you'll hit 100 pretty well. You won't hit 100 in 2nd, but you'll get pretty close.
I think
you
hit 90 as from. I've gotten it up to 80. I don't want to push it anymore than that in 2nd.
One of my more recent videos, it was my 3x3 challenge video. I was in, I want to say I was in 3rd, and I pushed it all the way up to 102 in 3rd on that first pull. And it was on a country road, so it's like 60 miles an hour is 55 is the top, and there were some curves and things got real sketchy, and I ran out of road. But 3rd gear, I mean, even 2nd gear will just get you to 110 if you let it. It's insane how crazy these things just sleep on their power.
Yeah. I'll bang the motor off the rev limiter all day long. That's what it's for. That's what it's for.
Well, you got to make sure it's there.
That's right. How do you know it's there if you don't use it?
Exactly.
All the bikes I've been demoing, I find theirs really fast.
Is on the Harleys? Isn't that crazy?
Oh man, it's And in the big bore on the 116 Chieftain, I was redlining that thing like fucking crazy.
I took my buddy's Ducati Scrambler out. He bought one used 2 months ago, whatever. And I jumped on it, and the tach says, I'm almost certain, I could be wrong, but I'm almost certain it says 12,000 RPM. And I'm like, awesome, right? I hammer on this thing in second, and that rev limiter at 8,000 hit me like a brick wall. I thought I had another 4,000 to go. Damn.
Buddy, this is entirely, if you're hitting $8,000 on a rev limiter, that's something special. That's something only designed from Porsche.
The Scout at 88, 80. I think mine said at 84, 85, somewhere around there.
I mean, Harley is the closest you can get to a gasoline diesel in the motorcycle world.
Yeah. I took out a Yamaha Intruder. No, what is it? Invader. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Eluder. Yamaha Eluder. That thing redlined like 2,800 RPM or 3,000 RPM or some shit.
What?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yamaha Eluder.
What is it eluding? The high end revs?
Much.
Yeah.
Yeah, Star Eluder. That's
Yamaha Eluder. Redline.
It eludes performance.
Oh, so this must be a trim package of the what's it called?
V-Star or something.
Yeah, it's their.
I dig the front end on that bike. It's fucking cool. But
it looks like a spider. I love it. Yeah, I'm looking at this thing. This is one of the few like touring bikes I've seen that I thought looked really pretty. It's got like those spider eyes, those 4 headlights. Jay, you're
it did not redline at 80/40. It's saying redline 48. It was way lower than that. I bounced that thing like a fucking ping pong ball.
Jay, are you using Bluetooth?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're fine now, but you were cutting out pretty bad a second ago.
Oh. This is saying it's on 4,800 RPM redline, but it was redlining way earlier than that. As I said, I was bouncing off the redline like a ping pong ball, that one.
That's crazy that they set it so low.
Yeah.
Well, what's the engine size?
It's over 1,800.
What's the bore and stroke? Do you know?
I haven't gotten that far.
Because I mean, if it's a real, if it's not huge, or if it's huge and it's not really too counterbalanced, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, the question is, did it move?
Yeah,
it had lots of torque. It was a great little bike. I loved it, but I would never buy it. But
it'll pull your boat behind it.
$30,000. Yeah, that fucking Yamaha for $30,000.
Towing the boat to the lake with my bike.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Yeah, 126 foot-pounds of torque.
There, Brandon.
Yeah, that guy, he's so talkative today.
Like we woke him up.
He's still editing.
How you?
Takes a while to do all that DJ stuff.
What are you doing over there?
So I'm going to put a tow hitch on my Chieftain.
Yeah, man. A little camper.
Yep. I'll just live out of it.
Yeah.
So it's funny because someone at work said, "Oh, can you tow something with that?" I said, "Actually, I seen one towing a little trailer. It's not getting a tow hitch."
So Tulane made fun saying the Sportster Sphere S, and I would wholeheartedly agree with that. Actually, the a 107 will fear us. We'll blow that shit away. I've proven that one to be true.
So the Sportster meets a very specific part of the market where you're not getting performance and you're not getting torque. There's a specific segment of the market called useless that a lot of people go for.
The Sportster?
Yeah.
I kind of dig them. I like those roadsters as well. They're cool little bikes. But a 1250 kit, I think that will beat the Scout. But you're also spending a shit ton of money to get that.
You got people asking about the rebuild of the bobber, so I don't think everybody knows.
Oh yeah, announce it.
Yeah, there is no rebuild. It's total.
Pronounce it. It's dead. Poor guy.
Yeah.
That's okay. He's going to get a Chieftain.
Moment of silence. Yeah. He's got enough of them around him, but he can't handle them.
Yep.
I haven't made a video because I've just been lazy and compiling all of the numbers and insurance calls and all that stuff into a video. I'm just being lazy about it.
Don't you have some B-roll car videos out in?
Say what?
Don't you have got some B-roll that you can fire some videos out with?
Wait, to my now?
Memories of the bobber.
Oh, memories of the bobber.
B-roll.
You should do a rest in peace bobber video.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying the dealership videos of your friends been buying bikes. That's got to be a little painful.
Oh, going with them, buying them?
Yeah.
Not really, because I don't want to spend the money.
Oh, yeah. Is that your girlfriend who bought a bike?
That's just one of our people we ride with.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that bike she got was nice. She looks small on it, though.
Yeah, actually, I got some video of her riding. What was it, yesterday? Yeah, I got some video of her riding yesterday. I didn't get a chance to put that in the video, but I think I'll probably do that Thursday or something. But yeah, I mean, as much as I want a Chieftain, man, but 30 grand if I get it the way I want it.
No, just get a used one and modify it.
You only live once, bro.
I like the 19 though.
Yeah, 19's grown on me a lot.
Like I saw the Dark Horse today, my uncle's, the white one, next to a Street Glide, a 2018 Street Glide. Now granted it wasn't the Street Glide special, but it made the Harley look cheap.
Well, you know.
It just made it look cheap to me. But to each his own. Yeah. Like I said, it wasn't the blacked out special, but
see what I want.
It just looks so much put together.
I want a Springfield with enough fringe that I just look like a cloud of brown.
That's the vintage.
Oh, dude.
You look like a skid mark going up the highway.
Out of brown.
Whoa. Call it rolling brown out.
Yeah, but I just want like it's. If you would have asked me if I would have liked the look of fringe like 2 years ago, I would have laughed. But Indian, in my opinion, is the only make that is able to pull that off. And if you can pull it off, why not just go 110%?
I cut all that
130.
fringe off them Viking bags.
Yeah, but then you got to get a
race
fringe
plate
pants, fringe
Oh
jacket,
yeah, give me the fringe chaps. I want to just be like
bearskin seat
Do it,
cover.
all of it.
just buy fringe, cut it off, and tie it to my fringe. Just make it longer.
There you go.
Make your fringe.
You need to get fringe for every holiday. Red, white,
yo,
fringe.
You can braid the fringe into your hair as well.
It's weird. Like the people who have had it have been like, they have the tassels and the brake handles and the grip.
Bro.
And it's like, when I'm going like 60 and my arms are out like this, I hear, there's something about. They said it was meant to cure itches because it'll just scratch your arms the whole time. But they said else about like when your arms are sweating, it really helps. I don't know how true that is, but
until InvictvsNox is ripped off of his motorcycle and dragged into the back wheel because his flames got up. It is a tragedy.
Yeah, man. If I can just be just a brown tornado on the road, I'll be happy with that.
You're gonna be a rolling meme.
I'll make
you look like
I'll make the
Pigpen from Charlie Brown, dude. Pigpen, where you don't even see him. He's just.
They're gonna call him a potato.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do it, man. Do it.
No, I like the fringe though. It's a different look. It's classic heritage look. I like it.
Yeah, man. Like
not my style though.
I've seen.
I mean, if somebody gave me that bike to ride, I would gladly ride it.
Oh yeah.
Set up.
Yeah, so I got. I figured out how to get the Viking bags onto the bike, and I kind of took the design of the factory spindles that hold the factory bags on and re-engineered them so I could use the factory sissy bar because of the way that whole thing clips on. And I managed to get that all designed and I had a machinist friend of mine turn the spindles out of plastic, and then I had to do some adjustments to get the bags spaced properly so they didn't hit the belt guard. And took some engineering, but I'm going to make a video here in the future, and I'll put up the drawings. So if anybody wants to make the same parts, they can download a picture of it and the whole 9 yards. So that video is coming.
How did you engineer it so that you can have the maximum ease of jettisoning them into innocent riders behind you?
Yeah, well, that was the real tough part, because weaponizing the bike has always been my dream. So
yeah, you just get a box of caltrops on the license plate cover.
Yeah. Well, the problem is I accidentally jettisoning the bags when I have beer in them. That'd be the problem.
Yeah. Well, if I had a lot more weight in mine when mine went flying, it might have not happened. But Jesus Christ, easy brackets. Like, come on. A speed bump is enough to defeat your locks? Come on.
Yeah, these things are bolted on tight. Hopefully the bolts hold up. One of the complaints I really have about the Indian Scout, that it's probably just me that's dealing with it, but the whole, because the frame is aluminum, and then everything that bolts to the rear of the bike, the seat, the spare seat, the seat backs, the bags, all that is steel bolts going into the aluminum frame. And there's a real easy chance of cross-threading all that stuff.
Absolutely.
And taking stuff on and off there's a chance of wearing all this stuff out. And I really don't like that. And once you've cross-threaded the bolts that hold the bags on, that's it. You're done.
Yeah,
man.
that is it.
Cross-threading is God's Loctite.
Yeah, nature's Loctite. But the problem is that literally once you've done it on, I don't know, does that rear frame section, does that come off?
So
Yes.
on the Scout, so the fender. Well, okay, so here's my hands right. Can't see it. All right. Here's my hands right here. That's the frame itself, the entire bike midsection. On the outside of my hands here, that's the rear fender. So you can take the rear fender off, and you'll just have these little.
I'll hold mine on the outside of yours.
Yeah, there we go.
It's like Ghost right now.
So we have here's the frame, and if you take the fender off, you'll just have these two little beams sitting here with two little screw holes in them.
Now, are the seat screws in the main frame or on the rear section?
Well, it's all one piece. That's why the bobber can't have the same saddlebags, right? Because they chop that rear end off, where you don't have those two support braces.
Yeah, they changed the posts, and then they don't have the secure piece in the middle for the seats. That's why our seats don't line up and everything else too.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna put studs into where the seat goes for the rear seat and everything, so I'm not putting screws in and out. But the saddlebags, there's nothing I can do about that. And I just like swapping the parts in and out. I like taking the bags on and off. I like stripping it down to a little bar hopper, and I like going full touring. I just like the idea of that, but I have a feeling that I'm wearing out those aluminum parts with steel bolts.
Well, so I mean, it's really not as much of a concern as it could be, because it's just straight up solid metal. If worse comes to worse and you do cross thread or you ruin the aluminum threads, which I have actually almost done, putting a screw in almost slightly off canter, but the worst comes to worst, you can just tap and die a new hole. It's not a big deal. Whereas if you're doing the exhaust and the engine is made of aluminum, you pop those studs out, and that's an immediate headache, $2,000 and a tow job all the way to the dealership to fix something that.
No, you just buy a fucking big bore kit.
Oh yeah, true. That's the excuse.
That's true.
Actually, I don't think that'll fix it, because that goes into your head, not the.
Yeah, that's a head problem.
Yeah,
but I mean, at least that way you'll have the engine apart. You just take the head to the machine shop, so it's just an excuse to big bore.
Yeah. Well, that was in my latest video of all the bikes I've owned. I bought that GSA 50, and it had a damn stripped spark plug hole, so the head had to come off, and that really was very upsetting. There's no possible way the guy before me didn't know that it had a stripped spark plug hole.
Not PB Blaster. I was gonna say some JB Weld and just shove it in there for life.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of did that at first. It's like, okay, well, it was cross-threaded in before. I'll cross-thread it in again, but it didn't hold very long.
Yeah, we're talking to Chuckster in the chat. He's talking about how one of Harley's biggest mistakes was canceling the V-Rod. Hey man, I think all of us Indian people here are in agreements with you, because the V-Rod
oh my
is
goodness,
essentially a Indian Scout 2.0 as far as entire logistics go.
I was looking at the V-Rod before the Scout.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the only reason a Scout will beat it flat out on a drag strip is because the Scout's just lighter.
Do you think it would?
I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen YouTube videos of a guy on a Scout, which I think he didn't have an intake mod or anything. I think he literally just had an exhaust, and he beat a stock V-Rod. But I mean, yeah, it's essentially the same bike. It's I believe it has an aluminum frame. It's an aluminum engine, dual overhead cam. It revs high, revs fast. It's everything Harley isn't.
Yeah, I mean, I knew right away, being on a Fat Bob Stage 1 with the 114 and the FXDR, the Scout's faster, no questions about it. But that V-Rod I took out, the chassis was shit. The guy had done some air ride to it. I didn't like it at all. But that motor was beautiful.
That's what I was like. He's saying the V-Rod beats out the FXDR, and I think FXDR from the line felt really good. I was all, but the other 114s I didn't care for.
Yeah, with a lot of torque, you'll beat something off the line very quickly, but at the end, top speed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You can launch that scope pretty dang good.
Oh, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, the Scout's going to probably beat almost everything in the Harley line straight from except for like a V-Rod with a turbo or something. I'm talking out my ass. Don't believe me here, but
well, like I said,
the biggest weak link in the Scout is that rear tire. That thing just doesn't have enough tire for power. If you were drag racing it, I light up the tire all the time. Easy.
What I love about the M109, it's got all that power and it can put it down so easily with that tire.
Hey, Chuckster, when you make that video with Mr. V-Rod, you need to let me know, because I want to be there. I want to see that shit. But he's talking about getting a Scout and racing V-Rod.
Yeah,
and I want to be there for that shit.
You know what's bigger? The bigger rivalry with the V-Rod is the M109.
I don't think V-Rod people know what an M109 is.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
In your area,
I guarantee you they do, because they think that the V-Rod's faster.
Well, so M109, I love, but I mean, like, that's kind of a hard thing to call. Like, M109 is, if I'm not mistaken, is that a single overhead cam?
I have no idea.
So the M109 is kind of like a Harley if the Japanese could make a Harley. It's all about low end with that thing, as far as I know. I've never ridden one. You'd know a lot more than me.
Well, the thing is, Harley made the V-Rod to compete with the M109.
Really?
The M109 came out. It's been out since 2006.
Well, I know it's been out since then, but I thought they were just trying to make a fast Harley.
No, they were making it compete with Suzuki, because they were in the muscle bike segment.
Yeah,
there was nothing else like it.
Other than did sell well.
Hey, Brandon, your buddy with the blue bike. What is that blue bike?
Yeah, that's my M109.
That's his M109.
That thing's gorgeous, man.
Yeah, I love that bike.
The tank.
Its styling is a little too early 2000s, Too Fast, Too Furious. If I was on a motorcycle, for me, but as far as the machine goes, yeah. I mean, as far as its own time period and its own style, I think is very beautiful.
They still make them.
Yeah,
They
but
haven't changed a single thing on that bike other than moving the tachometer to 2010.
Suzuki
It's
literally just
the same
cares
bike.
about the beginner sport bike segment. That's really all they care about, though. Like they're trying to get into this neo retro thing with the Katana, but at the end of the day, it's all about the Gixxer 750 and 1000 for them.
Yeah, Suzuki, man. I've given up on Suzuki. But I will say this though, the N109 set a standard in 2006 because Harley is just now catching up with the 114. The 109 has been putting down 120 horsepower almost and 120 foot-pounds of torque since '06.
But it's so heavy. It's so
Yeah,
big.
I mean it's heavy, but it's the way it puts the power down.
Oh yeah, low end. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's I can't explain it.
Hey, Brandon, regarding that bike, would you consider when it's revving, when you're cruising down the highway, would you consider the engine smoother in vibration than the Scout or, say, a comparable Harley Davidson?
I can ride the M109 at 90 miles an hour, no vibration, but the Scout feels like it's shaking my wrist apart.
Yeah.
But the thing is, another thing about the N109 is when you look at the torque curve on the N109 on the dyno, the torque curve is literally like flat. I mean, well, it's like a flat line. There is no dip. It starts at 100 and something, and it stays there the whole time throughout the entire rev range.
With
So it's
V10.
putting down 100 and some foot-pounds of torque from that initial RPM range all the way to red line. It does that in every single gear.
That's what V-twins are all about.
So what?
Are you going to start making M109 videos now?
I mean, it's my only bike now, so I have no choice.
Yeah. I
Smart.
think it's
Watch
gorgeous.
that shit.
Slap an Indian logo on it.
Yeah, I'll watch that shit.
But we were talking about the V-Rod and people saying that was their mistake for canceling that. I mean, I think everyone here, like I was saying, I think everyone here kind of likes and respects the V-Rod, but we're also motorcycle people, whereas Harley people are Harley people, and just about every Harley owner, fan, anything that I knew hated the V-Rod. They're like, it's fake Harley. It's terrible. Doesn't sound
That's
good.
the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
All it did was slow down any progression that they were making. Because I remember when it was getting out there for like for Laughlin River Run, and it was out there for all the bikes and casinos, and everybody's like, nah, and didn't like second look at it, and was like, I was young enough that I was like, this is the way we need to go. This thing's bitching, man. But
I will own a V-Rod at some point in my life. That was too much fun.
I've never ridden one enough to say that I would own one, but I huge respect to Harley for trying to progress like that. But I think a lot of with Harley people, you run into the real big, I don't want to say nationalism crowd, but real big USA people all the way. And if they hear something was co-designed by Porsche, they're like, that's not an American bike.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're a victim of their own success earlier on. That's always been Harley to me. It's just they try to experiment, and every time so in recent years I think it's going to be like the Street 500, the Street 750. I think those are going to be more popular because I think their fan base, the people that prevented them from progressing on, the panhead forever people, I think those people are slowly dying off.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the wall of progress is starting to crumble for Harley. So I think they're gonna break out with something pretty big within the next decade at least.
Well, the bikes that they're putting out now,
yeah,
I'm wondering like if I was like if the people didn't held them back, like how soon, like how long ago would we have seen these bikes?
Live wire. That's all I gotta say.
What has it been like?
Is if
7 years or something?
Indian had to come around and do what Indian's doing right now, would Harley be doing what Harley's doing right now? Because I got a ton of respect for all these changes Harley's making. If Harley would have been making these changes 5 years ago, I'd probably be riding some crazy, I don't know about a live wire, but I'd be riding, one of these modern proposed Harley bikes. Who knows?
So the question for that is, it's easier to look at it from the perspective of victory motorcycles. if Victory hadn't have made the hammer or the 8-ball trim, anything like that, would Harley have even tried to push the muscle bike segment with the M109, stuff like that, and start pushing performance? Because Victory was known as the other American company where performance was the focus and design was the focus rather than style and all of that. So I don't know if it's really a full credit to Indian thing as much as it's a full credit to Polaris thing.
Maybe. But you know, I find interesting is like with Brandon's buddies that to see all those guys with all these victories. You know, what made a group of guys victory guys as opposed to, well, one's got a victory and the rest are Harleys. You know, I just find that interesting. You know?
My trainer was a full victory guy, and a lot of them were just not Harley guys. And he still hangs out with the Harley guys, but you could tell that was part of the problem. He didn't want to be with Harley.
I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with that, though, with you saying there's Harley guys and then there's not Harley guys.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris.
Guys that'll ride everything, and then there's the loyalists. And
yeah, Brandon, what?
What was your question about the victories? You're asking why
why so many guys just turn to that brand? Why what is it your guys found in that brand and they all went to it?
Well, both of my guys came from M109s, and none of the Harleys had the performance. That was the God honest truth.
I like hearing that.
Can you imagine going from?
It's nothing against Harley. They test drove Harleys, Street Glides, Road Kings, Ultra Glides, Electric Glides.
Going from the M109 and then riding a Harley, like
they didn't like them.
What the fuck?
And they rode the victories. Came to find out the victories were what they wanted, so they went to victories. Then when Indian came out with the Chieftains, kind of found out the Chieftains were just as quick and had more ice to them, like the GPS, all that kind of stuff to them. So they went with the Indian.
So is the orange one getting traded in next?
Nah, he's not gonna get rid of it.
That's a what is the orange one? That's a Victory.
It's a Magnum.
Magnum. Okay.
Gorgeous, man.
Victory never did a single thing for me until I saw the Octane, and then I realized, oh, that's just a Scout. But I also was like, wait a minute, that Scout looks really good. And I started.
Yeah, the Scout, the Terminator would ride.
Well, I don't know about that, man. Terminator's real fat boy. I don't know if there's anything that can touch the fat boy in terms of style for that. I mean, the Chieftain. I mean, it would probably hide a shotgun pretty nice, that front bearing. But, you know.
Should I try it?
Yes.
Well, I would like to, but I'm not going to say anything else.
What, is there a future Chieftain for the Nox coming?
Oh, no. This was more to do with the shotgun element.
Yeah.
I plead the fifth.
I'm not allowed to have guns in Italy.
Oh.
Love me some guns.
Love me some guns.
All my guns are back in California.
Wait, you can have guns in California? Sorry, I don't want to.
Sorry, I never said that.
All right.
I don't have any guns in California.
He's also pleading the fifth.
Yeah. Wise move.
I need a small disclaimer across my little video now.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So, what do we got in the chat? We are talking about
V-rods, which is great.
Lever action shotguns. Damn it. All right, let's turn this away from a little bit more controversial stuff. Anything else in Indian motorcycle world news? What's been some recent developments for you guys?
You got Meatball with the Chieftain. How was the trip?
I'm not again.
Oh, it's good. I like cruise control.
If you don't mind me asking, what did you get a deal on that for? How much would you get a Chieftain for?
Out the door? Or just the before everything?
What's the before everything?
13.4?
Nah,
something like that?
24?
13.6, something like that.
How many miles were on it?
7,300. It's a 16.
Shit.
Nice.
That ain't bad at all.
Is that with GPS and stuff?
Yeah, pardon me?
He's got the old. He doesn't have the ride command. Which was that 2015 when they instituted that?
2017. Yeah, 2017.
And what is the ride command? Is that the infotainment system?
Yeah, it's the big piece.
He's got
the navigation and everything.
The one center small LCD screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the robot face.
Yeah, I like that better, man. I'm not.
I do. I like it.
That was my preference also.
Somebody just said that it looked like the robot from the Jetsons, and I haven't stopped thinking about it since.
Rosie?
Yeah, that one was one of them, and I just keep thinking of a robot now. That every time I see it, I just think of its face as a robot, and I'm like, all right, that's fine.
Looks sort of like an old 30s freight train or something.
What's the guys say about the Road Glide with the dual headlights up front? Looks like Bender from Futurama.
Yeah, I never
I actually like the headlight with the two driving lights rather than the way the 19s are.
Oh wait, I said Trans Street Triple. No, I meant the Rocket 3 with the two headlights.
I like that bike when I first rode it.
I haven't ridden one. I'm kind of intimidated by it.
Actually, man, I think the most shocking thing about it for me was it felt the weight distribution. It didn't feel as heavy as it looked.
Was it top heavy at all?
No.
Really?
It's like the weight is like in the middle, like the under the gas tank rather than it in the bottom of the bike. If that makes sense.
That's good.
Yeah.
I know Shade Tree Surgeon has one. He's had one for a while, and he said there's no doubt in my mind I could wheelie this thing if I wanted to.
Oh yeah. The one I rode only had like 20 miles on it.
Oh, well, yeah, it was his bike, so
yeah. So it's fast, man. That's another animal. Bike is very fast.
Well, okay. There's the Rocket 3, and I think that probably still fills the top spot as far as muscle bike heavyweight cruisers go. I don't think there's a bike to compete with the Rocket 3 yet.
The Rocket 3 is 20 RPM?
I would probably put the XD up there with it.
See, that's in its own class to me. XD is just beyond. And I'm not even talking about power. I'm just talking about in terms of what a bike is. Like, it's hard to call that bike.
It's a cruiser.
No, it's a cruiser for sure.
Maybe.
That is a different machine. Like, I don't even think
What's
about
the lean angle on the Diablo?
40 degrees.
Good.
I'm not good enough for that.
And out of both times I test rode it, I was getting frustrated because I couldn't scrape the peg.
I got a buddy in the UK just bought one of those things after he came and visited down here in Italy, saw them around. He went straight home and bought one, and he just said it's the most insane piece of machinery that there is. Just
Diablo or ex-Diablo?
Ex-Diablo.
Your buddy's got some money.
He's got some balls too, man.
Yeah.
If you put the Rocket 3, because they've done, I mean, it's plenty of videos out there where they've like put them both side by side in a drag. Well, no, they put the regular Diablo in a drag race with it.
Regular Diablo,
like neck and neck. Isn't it? They were neck and neck. So the fact that the X Diablo has like launch control, pretty sure it'll probably take it.
The only cruiser with launch control. Oh my god.
And now on the 2019 Diablo refresh, they added launch control to it.
So would you consider the Diablo a cruiser though? Because that seems more like a standard to me.
I consider it what did you consider the FTR?
Well, the FTR I wouldn't consider a cruiser. No.
Dirt bike.
Do you think wait, if you can tour on it, is it considered a cruiser?
No,
tour
You tour on anything.
touring bikes.
Yeah.
You can do anything, man.
Well, no, I'm saying though. Oh, okay, if you're doing 75 miles an hour, isn't that considered cruising?
Well,
Yes, cruise control.
real loosely defining things here.
Yeah.
But
I think we're getting into the world where multiple bikes can do multiple things, and
Right.
we're losing sight of all that.
the FTR can be called a flat tracker, and so here's the thing: the FTR is designed as a flat track racer, but in terms of overall consumer motorcycle market, I wouldn't consider it anything other than a standard. And standards can fit a lot of different performance range. Like they'll have the Suzuki GSX 750, or they'll have a not well Moto Guzzi. A lot of their bikes are standards. They're entirely different bikes. It's all about the riding stance. Cruiser to me is feet forward, back straight, maybe a little bit arched, relaxed position, whereas the FTR is a lot more aggressive than that. Even if your back's still up straight, it's kind of like the Yamaha XSR 900, where you have that sort of dual sport stance where you're upright, but your arms are low, but not so low that your elbows are going to hurt like a sport bike.
I don't know if we could not define that most bikes is not cruisers anymore, because like Moto Guzzi has the MGX 21 and it's a standard set.
Your feet are still forward though. That's a touring cruiser to me. The MGX 20, the Flying Fortress, is a straight up sporty alternative to a Harley, not Road King, but it's the different bike you take to Daytona Bike Week.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. My cruiser term is blurred. I think the X Diablo is a cruiser.
The X Diablo is most certainly a cruiser. I think that. But the straight up normal Diablo.
Regular Diablo. I mean, well, here's what I said. Here's the way I define it. I consider the Diablo a muscle bike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's fair to say. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, kind of like the VMAX, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the VMAX, I would say, stance wise, is more cruiser. But the way I'm just talking out my ass here. But I love the VMAX, and especially the newer model, the one that doesn't even look like a cruiser anymore.
Right, the older one was cruiser like, yeah.
The new VMAX, very comparable to the Diablo in terms of overall style and stance.
That VMAX gnarly, man.
What's up?
That VMAX is gnarly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those things have like 180 something horsepower stock or something.
A lot. It's more about V4, but I mean, like the VMAX before was them essentially saying, them essentially saying they're going to make a muscle cruiser with a still V-style engine like a cruiser, but obviously 2 more cylinders. The new Yamaha VMAX is like them just, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that like there's something that shares similarities with the Yamaha R1 engine?
Oh, I'm sorry. 197 horsepower.
Yeah.
Oh, well, shit. Not
123.
That's not enough.
Yeah, that thing's ridiculous.
What are they worth? They're over 20?
Yeah.
The X Diablo? Yeah, I think it's expensive.
Oh,
it's
like the VMAX.
Oh, VMAX I think is like 18 tops. I could be wrong.
You can probably get them for
I think this is this last year. They're doing away with that.
Yeah. Are they canceling the VMAX?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I don't know about the newer redesign, but the biggest complaint I remember hearing about the VMAX is that it's just not a comfortable long-term bike. Like it's muscle and that's it. That's all you get.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Bar hopper, like street light kind of bike.
Yeah, exactly. It's a Dodge Challenger motorcycle.
Yeah. Hellcat.
It's the demon.
Demon.
All right, so you can get the new a 2014 VMAX like 10.5, and the 1985 VMAX is going for about 5.9. So they're holding their value pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, like the bikes that kind of just make their segment like that do.
Snap. They got a 2019 VMAX out here. They got 2019s.
Yeah.
We got Chris
David.
We got Chris Davids in the chat talking about the Boss Hoss. Can I take a minute to vent and say that I fucking hate the Boss Hoss. I hate Boss Hoss motorcycles.
Even the big block?
I mean, look, this has nothing to do with me not being a Chevy person. This is everything to do with me going, your engine shouldn't be something that you could pull with a trailer, and you can get that power regardless. You can get that power out of that engine for maybe a quarter of the size with the right tune and build. Okay, the Alan Milliard Dodge Viper V10 motorcycle makes more sense to me than a Boss Hoss.
Yeah.
Because that thing, he goes through tires like every 2,000 miles, I think, on the Dodge Viper V10. And that's not the Dodge Tomahawk either that Dodge officially made. That is just this guy out of the UK, Alan Miller. You should look him up. He makes amazing.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the Tomahawk.
I was thinking the Tomahawk too.
No. The Tomahawk is, in my opinion, technically not even a motorcycle because it has 4 wheels. It's 2 motorcycle tires put together on each axle. Alan Miller just straight up took a V10 and put it in a sport bike frame.
Jesus.
Preloaded a ton of suspension in the front and a ton. I think he actually used car shocks in the back. I could be wrong, but he took a V10, he shoved it in a motorcycle, and oh my god, like it goes every bit as fast as you think it would. Like it's
he rides it enough to be swapping tires all the time.
Well, that's what I was about to say. That thing chews up his tires within 2,000 to 3,000 miles.
Jesus, dude.
I think he has specially made Avon Venoms or Cobras, made specifically for like the bigger rear wheel that he needs for that thing. And I remember reading a comment section on one of his videos. He's like, "Yeah, I take it out every now and then. I need to stretch its legs. I have to replace tires on it fairly often." But in my opinion, his genius lies in all of his other builds. Like, of course, he does that, and that's what got him a lot of attention. But he has his YouTube channel. I don't think it has a lot of followers, but he's criminally unsubscribed. Like, he's got he took a Pratt and Whitney engine out of some World War II plane. I can't remember what it is. It was he shaved a V10. I think it was a Pratt and Whitney engine from a World War II fighter engine or fighter plane, and he took the two cylinders off the end of it, and he made it into a 5-liter motorcycle V-twin. He merged one solid crankcase, and he has a 5-liter World War II fighter plane V-twin that just like sounds immense. He shoved it into like this World War I bicycle motorcycle frame looking thing with a classic in-frame gas tank and everything. It's really cool.
All right, gents. I'm going to cut you guys off. I'm going to bed. I'm sleepy.
Okay, man.
No, man.
I'm going to holler at y'all. You too, guys.
Have a good one, man.
Later.
But if I could just harp more on this guy because I love this guy. He
what's his channel?
Alan Milliard. It's funny. Last name was a Milliard, like a actual Milliard. He I think the last project I was tuning in on, he was making a Kawasaki, I want to say an inline 5 cafe racer sport bike, two-stroke. I can't remember if it was 2-stroke or not. I don't think it was. He's done some 2-stroke stuff, but like he had a inline 5 cafe racer style motorcycle engine he made. Scratch that. inline six, I think. He took two 3-cylinder two 3-cylinder Kawasaki bikes and then just merged the crankcases together, made his own timing, used all his own pistons, I think, and all that stuff. And it's just, this stuff is fascinating.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Check that out.
Yeah, he's not really like a YouTuber type. He just kind of like posts progress videos of where he is and startups, first-time startups, that sort of thing.
Wake up, everyone. What time is it there?
No, I'm just trying to follow fucking Buckton here, going with his walking verbal encyclopedia here, and I'm trying to follow him on Google, get all these videos and pictures of what he's talking about.
Oh, you're trying to? Sorry, yeah,
No, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm just trying to follow it. It's just like the knowledge that you retain is.
I think I'm like 7 beers in. I'm just kind of letting it pour out right now.
Do it.
He's got Alan Milliard. He's got the 5-liter V twin. At first I thought it was a Rolls-Royce Merlin, like it was a radial engine. That's what I thought at first. But then I realized a Rolls-Royce Merlin is not a radial engine. It's a V engine, but it's not even a Merlin. It's a Pratt & Whitney. So he's got other bikes like that 6-cylinder Kawasaki, but he has done a 5-cylinder Kawasaki before. He makes engines. That's what I'm saying. He makes engines and then he wraps bikes around them. It's really cool.
What are you tripping on?
Me on Meatball in the DMs.
Oh.
I'm just being weird.
What's going on? I haven't seen my DMs.
Looking at Instagram and our DMs.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm checking it out.
I'm scaring Brandon.
Tulane's asking about the issues with the Scout. I'm leaking oil like a motherfucker.
Are you serious?
Really?
Wait, is he or you?
No, I am. Not so.
From where?
Man.
You should see a doctor about that.
Yeah. Well, so there was the initial oil leak that I had where I was leaking out near the crank position sensor, and that's the video I posted about my warranty claim and whatnot.
That's my very first video I ever saw of yours. I found your channel.
Yeah, so that was the original leak. And this one, I'm trying to debate whether I go get it warranted because I'm like 90% certain I'm going to do this big bore kit fairly soon. But and if I do, it's new jugs, new pistons, new rings. I'm not going to worry about taking my bike to Vancouver for $300 and getting this fucking warranty work done. But I'm leaking out of my valve covers for sure, and it's just whipping down all the sudden. Nothing's dripping on the ground, and I also feel like I'm burning oil.
What?
Weird.
I feel like I am, but I just kind of just forget it and ride it. Fucking whatever.
I feel like there might be a slight chance, a slight possibility that I might have oil in my engine.
I hope you do.
Yeah.
So this is the first new vehicle this is the first vehicle I've ever bought from a dealership.
Same.
So it's, for me, it's they said, you got a warranty on your engine, and I was like, great. Between the first and second oil change, I don't give a fuck. If my shit breaks, I'll just, towing will suck, but I'll take it to the dealership and they'll just replace my engine. So I want to say at 4,500 miles, I said, I should probably check my oil, because this is something I used to do religiously with my Suzuki Samurai. I had to check the oil every day because I had to put a quart of oil in every 2 days. I was burning that bad. But I was like, I should probably check the oil in my bike. So I go down there while it's cold. And I know it's not how you're supposed to check it, but I just wanted to see what the level was at, because this is my first bike with a dipstick. Well, that's not true. My last bike had a dipstick, but I couldn't enjoy that because it crashed. So I undo the dipstick, or I try to undo the dipstick on the Scout, and it's like, man, cool. It's got that sweet little plastic top. You can just grab it and twist. Nope. Tried to do that with all my strength in my hands. Could not get that untwist. I said, "Well, there's probably oil in there."
I was gonna set pliers on there and crack her open.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I wasn't in any position where I was. I didn't have any tools on me, and I was like, I can try and warm it up, and if I do that with my exhaust system,
Same.
It's
engineering at its
right
fucking
there.
finest, isn't it? What
Yeah.
the fuck?
It's right on top of your hand.
Yeah,
So you
same.
miss with the pliers or you miss with your fingers, and well, that's a blister for nothing.
I'm a hairy dude, and
Good way to preface.
right here, look how bald it is. That's from the exhaust burn.
No shit.
Try to do like I didn't burn my skin, but the hair is gone from trying to check my oil because you have to check it hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, thanks, Indian.
I was like, in my dealer,
somebody, Joker Machine or somebody's got to make a dipstick, aftermarket dipstick. I will buy that in a heartbeat. That's just a little bit longer that you can get at a little bit easier.
Yeah, and they say you need to be sitting on it, like, well, if you don't have a stand for it, but then you need to have it standing up, and so you're trying to like do the shit like this, and
yeah, you can stand it up off of it though.
Yeah. So mine's leaking on the left side of the bike. So that's what's that? Yeah, left leg, the front and back jug at the valves cover, but nothing on the right side.
Weird.
That sucks.
So I don't know. I was gonna when I get the shop going here, I got all new lighting. Everything is gonna be good, but just pop the tank off, just check torque on those valve covers because I don't know what's going on.
Well, I've seen all kidding aside, I have seen one Scout owner say that they posted a picture in a forum of the left side of the bike, but just like you're saying, this is the left side of the bike, and it was just like one little drop of oil just running down the side, and it was like it wasn't a serious leak at all. But they said, "Should I be concerned about this?" New bike, absolutely, you should be concerned about it. Yes. Everyone said just contact the dealership, contact your warranty, and they fixed it right away. So, I mean, that's the first place I would go.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. But for me, if you saw those videos, it's literally a 7-hour journey. I gotta take. I gotta be at the ferry an hour early. The ferry's an hour and a half, and then it's gonna take me 45 minutes to offload the ferry, another hour to my dealership, and then I gotta come back, and it's $80 one way.
I have a similar problem. I gotta go to Rome.
Yeah.
Which is 3 hours north of here, and then they don't speak English, so I had to order a battery when I got here. My battery failed, and it took me months. It took me, I don't know, like 4 months to get a battery.
Yeah. I think I remember that actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a nightmare, So I haven't had any service done there. It's a really small dealership. They have normally 3 Indians on the floor and a couple of Harley.
It's not a main dealer.
It is the main dealer.
Oh no, I mean it's not a straight up just Indian dealer.
No, they have some other European brands and it's a Harley and Indian dealer.
Wow.
And they do all the service there, and the place is great, man. I mean, it's spotless. It's really, really, really nice, but it's just the language barrier is real tough, and anything they order has to come from the States anyways. Yeah. One of the problems is that Indian Polaris will not ship to a P.O. box, so I can't get anything delivered here. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. I'm going to order some parts. I'm going to the States in March, and I'm going to order some parts, have them delivered to my dad's house, and then bring the stuff home with me. So, know, one part that I have had it's on its way out is the clutch lockout switch. So if the bike's in gear, you have to pull in the clutch before you can start it. That switch in the bars is going bad. It's kind of hit and miss. So I got to order one of those pieces.
What year is your bike? Is it a 15?
16.
16? I don't know if you guys follow Uniclocker on YouTube at all, but yeah, he's had some rust issues on his and some other weird stuff, and it seems to be those early Scouts.
Yep.
And most of that stuff seems to have been rectified at this point, but
yeah.
Jay, I didn't know you had to get. I remember one of your videos. I saw you had to get on the ferry, but I didn't know that's what you needed to take to get to the dealership.
Yeah. I mean, that's everything. Like Vancouver Island's, it's bigger than It's way bigger than New York. It's a big island. Like it's right above Seattle. But yeah, it's like 35 kilometers, which is it just is what it is, right? But
that's crazy.
I mean, I'd still do it to have my Scout. It doesn't matter. The dealership could be in Seattle. I'd still own my Scout.
It's just weird that I feel spoiled that I have to take over 100 miles of a ride to get to my dealerships. There's one in Hampton and one in Fredericksburg, and I'm in Richmond and Virginia. So it's like either like 100 miles that way or 100 miles that way.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just, I mean, that's the way it is. It's not a mainstream brand yet, and it's not like Harleys or Yamaha or whatever. It's just, which will probably change. I think Indian's really going to start like coming around, especially with their being owned by Polaris.
I hope
they can now marry the Polaris and Indian together, because like my dealership, they carry the Polaris side by sides and the snowmobiles.
Do you think that would hurt their sales though? Because one of the biggest strategies Chrysler did in the early '90s when Lee Iacocca bought them out. I'm sorry, Lee Iacocca became the head of Chrysler, Dodge, Plymouth, all that. One of his decisions was, let's buy Jeep from AMC. And when he bought Jeep from AMC, he said, there will never be a Jeep dealership, because we will marry it all together with Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep. It's all going to be the same thing. And Jeep had a huge recognition prior to that. Like, Indian wasn't even really known. Like, if anyone even knew the boutique Indian brand in the early 2000s, then that was a minority of folks. Before that, everyone knew Indian as that other brand in World War II that wasn't Harley. Whereas Jeep had the luxury of being the CJ way after the Willys MB and all that. Yeah. So it's like, do you think it would suffer for Indian to have Polaris side-by-sides going along with the motorcycle brand if people just see a Polaris? There's a lot of
people. I bought from had the side-by-sides there in Valencia, California.
I can't speak this to be completely true, but I would imagine the dealership has some sort of stipulation, right? Like a certain amount of square footage has to be allocated to Indian, and then they're half. So like my dealership, for instance, like it's quite large, which I also think is in one of the videos at the very end. I walk through with my helmet on and you can see it, but there's Indian all on one side. It's actually a very nice dealership. And then the other side's got their power sports stuff. But
they, with my local one, it was Honda, Yamaha, Redlands, like all this stuff. And it's been there since like the late 70s. But they cleared out like one whole side. They got the hardwood back in there and they made that whole side look like Indian. And
so you guys,
they merged really well together. And luckily enough in California, I have 3 within probably 100 miles or so. 3
You've
different
got the
dealers.
population base, right? Like your state's got more population than my entire country.
Yeah.
So
LA is nuts.
Hey, we're
Probably
not
my
bragging.
county. Yeah.
I've got 3 within 100 miles easily.
Yeah.
So Meatball, do you have you have just straight up Indian dealerships near you? Where are you from again?
San Jose.
San Jose. Okay, so it's
So
like
my local dealer has Indian, Triumph, Moto Guzzi, Aprilia now.
that's crazy. You guys all have these.
See, all the ones I've been to, if they're not Harley, they're mixed.
That's nuts. Everyone around is just Indian.
Oh, I got one in Hollister. I'm not sure what else they have. And Arlen S is about 30, 40 miles away.
The dealership I bought from was Triumph, BMW, Indian, Victory. The Slingshot was there.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it. Yeah.
That is crazy. I didn't know I was in the minority here. I have 2 dealerships near. Well, that's my 2 dealerships are just nothing. There's not even Polaris. There's not a Slingshot. There's not.
Interesting.
There's not even used Victories. It's all Indian in my state.
If I get a chance, I'm going to go to the Orange County one and the San Diego one when I'm in the area. But I'm looking up Indian Motorcycle of Orange County because I haven't actually been there, but it's got signs for Norton Motorcycles
I've been
and
to
a
Orange
Prela.
County dealer.
Yeah,
I've been to the Orange County. They also sell Vespa.
Yeah, they got a Prela and Norton, all that stuff there. So,
April, yeah.
I was just gonna say, I knew you were gonna correct him.
Yeah, I still have my Aprilia.
My bad.
Well, the company that owns Aprilia also owns Vespa, right?
Yeah, Piaggio.
Yeah,
Piaggio.
Piaggio.
Yeah, there I go.
We corrected you.
Yes.
Yeah, Piaggios are all over here, man. These little tiny Piaggio trucks.
Yeah.
Like, man, I would love to take one of these little Piaggios and put it on a Jeep chassis, like a little flat fender. Be killer, man.
Yeah.
Don't do that to Jeep.
Yeah, well, you know.
Jeep's got enough Italian fucked into it.
Oh yeah, it does. Oh yeah, it does.
Okay, I can put it on a. It would actually fit really good on a Suzuki frame.
It looks like San Diego's Indian only, and their dealership's huge. They even have a room where they say you can have your club meetups there, and it's got the whole like Sons of Anarchy back room, big table vibe and shit.
What about LA? Does LA have Indian only ones?
I haven't looked at LA. I'd just rather not go to LA most of the time. So
I'm with you there. I'm just trying to say there's a lot of people there. If there's an Indian only dealership there, it's probably not too bad for the brand.
I haven't heard of one yet. I usually follow them or they end up following me.
Yeah, I've got like
ship I bought from closed up.
Have you guys heard of Elkhart Indian Motorcycle? I guess shout out.
Nope. I'm not sure.
Okay, maybe it's just me because I'm on the East Coast, but like Elkhart Indian Motorcycle is like the most social media active dealership I've seen. They follow me on Instagram, and I can't even tell you what state they're in. I've seen them follow me there. I've seen them get mentioned by other dealerships on like Facebook live streams, like for events at Indian specific dealerships. You know, it's just interesting. It's like,
Los Angeles.
Maybe that's why it was weird to me to hear that like Polaris would have side by sides or not sidekicks, slingshots at their dealerships, because it's like Indian for me is just all Indian, and to the extent that they have Indian chieftains, all the new stuff, but they'll even have on display 1941 Indian chiefs with like sidecars attached to them, you know, for 30 grand.
Oh, for sale. Usually that stuff's a display.
For
That's
sale.
Cool.
30 grand.
It looks like there is one in Hawthorne for LA. And it looks like they just do Indian, but they have a few victories and some other stuff there.
Used inventory is kind of negligible.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they were posting it as like their main photos, so like that was the hard part. But yeah. I don't know how this one looks pretty new.
I'm really hoping that I can.
Someone marked it as permanently closed.
unlimited motorcycles.
The fuck?
I will wash the shit out of her Mercedes in a Speedo.
What? Wait, what?
I just heard Speedo.
I just got a lot. Yeah.
I want to marry a rich woman and just buy motorcycles, and I will. She can give me an allowance, and I will wash the shit out of her Mercedes.
We'll wash the shit. Wow.
Okay. I will get in there all deep like.
You will wash. Okay.
I will be a kept man. No shame in that. No shame in that.
Which is ironic because the whole point of the motorcycles is to be free.
Buddy.
Yeah, my wife bought me this one because it's got a clock on it, so I know when to be home.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna have nightmares now, Jay.
You know what? You get used to it. It's
So wait a minute. You're a really hairy guy.
Yes.
He's gonna get greased up.
With
it all connects. There's no real bald spot.
Well, on what level from like 1 to Robin Williams would you say you are?
Wolfman.
7.
7?
Yeah.
All right. So
Rob Williams is up there, man.
Well, let me put it this way. You know when you're on your motorcycle there, Chris, and your beard's flowing outside of your helmet?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what my shoulder hair does when I'm on the boat. Just a little bit of this action right here.
Oh no!
Just a little bit of this.
So if you're shirtless, you just still look like you're wearing a jacket.
Oh yeah, but it's up there.
Well, is that something that's like when you're Canadian, it just happens?
If it wasn't for tattoos, my arms would be hairy too.
I think it's actually my mom's Italian, so I think I get it from her side of the family.
Oh yeah.
My mom was real hairy.
Yeah. Wow.
Sorry to derail you guys there a little bit.
No,
gotta stay warm, man. Gotta stay warm.
We're at that hour. It's fine.
We are.
Hey, Bearded. Hey, Bearded.
What's up?
We gotta put up with Jay when he comes down.
Oh, guys, you're gonna be fighting whose house I get to stay at.
I was gonna say we need to figure out if you're coming down with him, so that way we could set up and I'll meet you guys like halfway and we can fucking make a whole thing out of it.
Well, so I was kind of like, I think I would take the Port Angeles ferry from Victoria into Washington, avoid the I-5 completely, take the 101, go down the Oregon coast, stop at Tillamook, hard right to Portland. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Casa Diablo. Very nice. Spend the night there, and then come down to Northern Cali, maybe hit up San Francisco and keep working my way down over to Vegas, then up to Yosemite, and then into Northern Washington, go through the Olympics, and then back. I figured do it all in 10 days.
Wow, man.
And hit up as many of you guys and subscribers as I can.
All on the bobber?
Yeah.
I want to get that Corbin.
Well, I'm banking on Bearded's. So here's the thing. I sat on a Corbin seated bobber, and I didn't think it was that great. Like, I don't know. I mean, it was nice, but I'm like,
have them make one for you, man.
Make it part of your trip.
Yeah,
it's right there.
I'll take you down there.
To mail my stock seat home, but that Brave seat, I'm kind of undecided on that. That looks very Harley to me, but it also looks very good.
Yeah, it's one of those. Harley's done a lot. Like overall, I have to say Harley's done a lot of good stuff over time. You know, like there's a lot of stuff they don't do well that other people are beating them at, and that's the same thing with the Chieftain. I was like coming around to the looks, and I was like, it's still just a bitchin' bike. So
like
even though you only
spots on the ground,
yeah,
I think the Harley motor looks better than the Indian 111.
Disagree.
Really? You like the
same here.
I like them both.
Wait, hang on. Are we talking about Milwaukee 8 or Evo?
Yeah.
Well, it's still Evo, right?
I think the Sportster is an Evo engine, is it not?
Yes, it is.
And the Milwaukee 8 is a different gen because it's well. And again, I could be completely talking my ass here, but I don't know. I kind of dig them a bit, but
there will be no engine prettier than the Power Plus 105 by Kings Mountain Indian.
To be fair, I've never touched a Chieftain, so that's not true. I've sat on one, but I never looked at the engine very closely. Or I've been on lots of Harleys.
Also, they're gorgeous, but I was like, I think they both have their own style. Indian's still trying to capture some of the old style with those, but the new blacked out Dark Horses are just fucking gorgeous. So.
The Indian 111, 116, whichever you choose, there is just. I don't even care so much that they're trying to capture the look of the old flatheads. I think they do a great job of emulating that look, but my biggest thing is the whole piece together is just a work of art. Like if I had the money, I would have a Thunderstroke 111, 116, whatever. I would have that as a centerpiece in my living room.
Yeah. I want one of them fenders on a stick that they got at the dealerships.
Yeah.
I want one of those, man. Make that into a lamp.
A fenders on a stick.
You seen those at the dealer? They got the full skirted fender as a display in like the clothing section at all the dealers. I want one of them. Oh yeah, man. Next time I see one, I'll take a picture.
But I appreciate those, Jay. Like, there's a guy I follow in Iowa, Roll Tide 530. Dude's fucking awesome. But he loves that. He says the color of his bike every time. Pearl White Special Street Glide. He always says it as like its full title. But I love the way that looks together. And I got to see it in person when I went and got him some poker chips in Victorville, and it's a gorgeous looking bike. I mean, I'm still a huge fan of the Chieftain over it, but I appreciate the work that they put into it look wise.
I love that the Dark Horse can now come in white. Beautiful.
That is so strange.
I want them to do a gloss though. They don't have the gloss. And when I was there the other day, my deal, like the salesman was like, "Yeah, we have the dark walnut downstairs." I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, it's downstairs." I was like, "Can you show me?" Like, I haven't seen it in person. We're going like halfway to like go downstairs, and he said something about bronze. He's like, "You haven't seen it? We've had it." And I was like, and I had to stop him. I'm like, "Are you talking about the dark walnut?" He's like, "That's what the bronze is called." And I was like, "No." I was like, "Is it glossy?" And he's like, "No, it's a matte finish." I was like, "It's the bronze smoke." And I like the guy. Like, me and him have like, we'll bullshit for hours at the dealership for no reason. And I was like, I told him, I was like, "Take this as a joke, but I have to teach you how to sell Indians."
Yeah.
You got my hopes up to see this dark walnut in person, and I really want to see it in person because one picture it'll look fucking brown, and another one it'll look maroon, and it's just too much.
I want to see the motorcycle show again. I was spoken about earlier is in January, and I want to see because I feel like while I love the bronze on my bike, I feel like it on that bagger is just a little much.
I like it. I actually like it more on the bagger, but what sucks is because I loved the bronze on your bike. I thought about that one when I got mine, and they have that sitting next to the Icon series. Have you seen it's like a gold, like matte finish?
No.
And they have it sitting next to each other, and it makes your bike look really like that color look dull, which I was like, that sucks because they need to move it away. Because I love that your color looks great. And then you have one that's like really shiny because it's gold. And the Icon series, they have a gloss blue, the gloss red, and then the matte finish of like the gold. I don't know the name offhand.
I don't know about your guys' black bike, but you get those paints out in the sun. They really do have some hidden characteristics. Like they really do pop. They're quite nice for a matte paint.
Make a hearse motorcycle. I'd buy that.
Okay.
I need black and I need fancy. That's what I like.
I think Indian can do that for you.
Yeah, and that's my thing. Like I still can't stand that what's it called, the unskirted fender that they do now with the elites and whatnot. I need that classic skirted. I hate to be that guy, but there's so many people in the Indian crowd who are like, it's not like, there are people out there that are like, if it has that balanced fender is an Indian, the type of people that like the Kawasaki drifter. That's just a Vulcan that's dressed up as an Indian.
I like the skirted front fender. I personally do.
It's characteristic of the style, but it's not what makes an Indian. It's just I love that style.
Hey Jay,
it's very traditional. Yeah.
I can't find a picture of it, but if you go to my page on Instagram in the stories for Indian of Redlands, I have a picture of the Icon Series one in there.
I'll have to do it after this because I got you guys on my phone. That's what I'm using. So,
is the Icon Series is that the one where they add like that kind of fast boat glitter fleck paint?
No, they have a gloss blue, just with the normal paint scheme. They kept the red with this one because I thought they were getting rid of the red completely, but they have it in the Icon and then the gold, but they don't list it anywhere. Like dealers get them, but they don't have them like listed at all. It's just like a complete random almost. Like the bright green chieftain they have out. They usually you don't see it, but I see dealers posting it. Just not Indian's actual website. But I'd love to see the green or the red with like the Dark Horse blacked out motor and everything with that like crazy gloss paint. I think that'd be bitching.
Yeah, one thing I noticed, the black paint on my Chieftain is better than my Scouts.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I thought it was.
Oh yeah. It's a big difference.
Do they use more coats, or is it just a different paint altogether?
Probably different paint. It's a lot deeper.
Well, they call it the same thing. It's just, what is it? Thunder Black?
It's Thunder Black Pearl, I think, right? Because it has the flake in it.
No flake.
Oh, that's black. The new Chieftain I rode was the Pearl.
Yeah, it's just I think it's a more expensive bike, so they put more expensive paint on it.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'll give to Harley. They have a shit ton of bitchin' paint jobs and well done paint jobs too.
I agree. Indians no slouch on their paint jobs, though. I mean, their paint jobs are phenomenal. Mine looked like if you touched it, it was going to ripple.
I mean, I got scratches in my bobber.
It just looked like it was wet.
Yeah, I was like, they had a few of them out there at the demos, and they have one out that's their full custom one, but I don't understand how it's $51,000 for a street glide. But.
Oh my god, are you serious? What?
Yeah.
Was that a celebration?
No, not at all. I know a dude that was out there. One of the dealers took a picture of it, and that bike sold the next day.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, did it have a sidecar on it?
That's ridiculous. I'll see if I can find what the one it was.
$50,000, you're talking FTR 750 territory. That's what I would buy with that money. I mean, I'm just saying.
I put money down on a house and buy a Chieftain right out.
Yeah, that's legit. That's a third of a cheap house. Like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Who can just?
Not in California.
That's like a minimum down payment out here.
Where I live, where I live. Well, I think the house I lived in 2 houses ago, that was a third of a house payment right there. Yeah, you live on the East Coast, and especially on the South, way cheaper to live in California.
Oh yeah. I lived in Iowa for a little while, and Arizona. Like, the fucking price differences are ridiculous.
Is Arizona cheap?
Yeah. A house out here, let's just say my brother's house is a nice 3-bedroom, 2-car garage. Wow. Even though the value has gone up, it's at I think it's $135,000 now.
Holy, that's awesome.
Yeah, but that house out here is starting at like $350,000.
Yeah,
starting, and that's like if in a fucking desert part, shit ass neighborhood.
That's nuts, though, man. Like, I would listen. I want to go to California so bad, especially to meet a select few amount of people, you guys included, obviously. But like, I want to go to California so bad, just to experience lane splitting. But that and the weather, obviously, like, it's. I mean, what do you guys have, like 70 degree days while we're sitting here with 29?
Right now it's been averaging 50 in the morning and 42 at night. But I know, like, Texas, there's a few guys that I follow out there, and Dirty D's was posting today. It was like 78 degrees, and he was at a park. And I was like, fuck off, dude. Like,
yeah, I want that, man. Like, it's like, I was always a winter person, like a fall person. And then I got a motorcycle, and I was like, this sucks.
It was pouring rain the other day, and I was like, I was just like, I can't ride. It said 100% chance of rain. And I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't have any chance. Like, it's just, no, rain, you're fucked.
Well, see, that's how the East Coast works. It's like, it'll be 28 degrees in Virginia. It'll be just 28 degrees, low of 12. Sometimes with the wind chill, it'll be -8. And then Sunday, it'll be 70 degrees Fahrenheit outside. And you're just like, oh, 7 degrees, that's awesome. No, what that means is it's going to rain like fucking crazy for 48 hours. And then it'll be back down to below freezing again. In Virginia, it's like, it's crazy because Virginia and California are in the same latitude, well, NorCal, but you guys will have like 80 degrees on a good day in like the winter, and we'll have -12 just in the same latitude.
Well, you got that cold ass Atlantic Ocean.
Yep. Gulf Stream just misses us.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I'm going to have to pack it up because I'm going to get riding here pretty soon.
I'm in no condition to ride. I'm happy you are.
Yeah, rub it in.
Yeah. It's 50 degrees, so it's not like 70.
As long as it's not raining for you, you're good.
No, listen, they're in between the rain today. It's going to rain the next 2 days, so got to get it while I can.
I told a few people about your story of manholes, and they were just fucking like losing their shit. Like that's.
Yeah. The other day, what was it? I think it was Wednesday. Took my wife to work, and again, that same manhole was off again. Straddled it with the car.
Off? It was off.
No, yeah, no. When it rains, the gutters flood, and the water comes up and lifts the manhole covers off. There's a video of it. Why I don't ride in Italy in the rain, and it's standing up at an angle like this in the middle of the road, so you can just ride right into the hole. And that's not the only one. It happens all over the place here.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's terrifying, man.
That and hookers.
Dude, when it rains, the hookers you can't even drive on the road. They're just floating out.
Oh yeah. Go by with a fishing net and scoop them up.
Yeah.
Right on, guys. Well, hey, always fun chatting with you guys and all the whole YouTube moto vlogging community. Really enjoy this stuff. Lots of fun.
Same.
And I want to thank all of my subscribers. If I do a little plug here at the end, all the subscribers got me over 15,000. Now I'm almost to 16,000. Once I got past 15,000, I was able to activate an online store on my channel, so you can buy all kinds of open rotor T-shirts and mugs and all kinds of crap.
Hey, my shit hasn't shown up yet. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so please support the channel. All the money that's earned goes right back into the channel. Video gear, motorcycle gear, stuff that I'm going to be showing. So definitely appreciate it.
I gotta get me an open rotor shirt. No, for sure.
Yeah.
Please do. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you out there.
Guys, later,
Chris.
Peace.
And then number 3.
4.
Or 4.
Yeah.
Jay, you got to learn to count.
Well, I'm on my phone. The screen's small, and
Canada has different numbers, so
yeah, our Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I heard it's small and furry.
Yeah, it is. Well, yeah.
When
Anyways,
you're out on the boat and the wind's blowing.
yeah.
Well, if you've
that's
got
too much.
if you're covered in hair, there's got to be a point where you just don't notice anymore.
Yeah, you only notice when you trim it down because it pokes your shirt. And that's
Oh yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you get the stubble. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit sucks.
Yeah, the girlfriend's fine with it. She trims it up for me.
Make sure you don't hear
What, you're part Yeti?
I really want to see your face sometimes, Meatball, when I talk. It warms my heart. Active in the Indian Owners Group.
Yeah.
I've got a card. I'm active in the Indian Motorcycle forums.
We got a card in our wallet, but mine ran out actually. I chose not to resubscribe because I didn't see the point.
Yeah.
When I was at the Long Beach show, there in front of the booth, they had people taking pictures for it, and they like had their big old patches. And my lady's like, "What are they doing?" I was just like, and I noticed it, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm part of that group," but apparently nobody asked me, so whatever.
Yeah. So I've recently, in like the past year, discovered the utility of wearing trucker hats. I got this little hat here. It's I got that from it's backwards. You probably can't see it, but it's
it changed. It changed.
Oh, does it? Yeah. So it says "World's Fastest Indian." It's the Burt Monroe hat I got for like $20 from the dealership. But I was like, yeah, I want that because I got an Indian Motorcycle Riders Group hat that says "member" right across the brim. So it says "member" on my forehead, and no one knows what I'm a member of because I wear it backwards all the time. Keeps the hair out of my face. It's good for that. But I wear it while I'm working on the bike or just working in general. But I have that, and I was like, wow, what is the point of this Indian Motorcycle Rider Group, aside from the free gifts that you can sign up to get every quarter of the year.
I was like, I feel like we're still part of one, so
yeah, we're part of a better group. Damn it, we're together making media for Indian for free. So, I mean, those other people, they get together with a ride they have to go cross state for. That's fine. That's good for them.
Yeah.
If they're still supporting Indian, I'll take it.
Well, that's the thing. I think it literally just goes to the group. I'm pretty sure it's an independent. Well, not independent, but I'm pretty sure it's its own entity.
Well, I just mean in general with like the actual writers in it.
Yeah.
If
they're supporting each other, that's all awesome for me. It's what was that Jack Black quote? He said, "The hell, I service the world by rocking." That's me. I service the world by making shitty YouTube videos that 2,000 people watch ever.
I watched your videos.
I appreciate it, man.
That was the most pity laying. I watched them. No, it's okay.
His video on the Power Vision CX. That's how I got mine done. I watched your video because when I did the firmware update and on my old laptop, it would not fucking update, and I was like, "This is bullshit." Went to my PC, totally fine.
Yep.
But anyways, that one, and then same with Brandon's video on his dealership because I think he got his before I got mine. But like you, Beard, I watched every bobber video there ever could have been. I don't watch them as much now because I'm creating it and writing it. But
yeah, I still type it in and try to find stuff because I'm like, if there's somebody out there that I don't know about, and I was like, Hello Stoked Garage, like he's been on a lot of our stuff.
Well, he was on the chat here earlier. He was like, I don't know if he's still on right now, but he was from the very get go. He was there.
Yeah, he wasn't gonna do motovlogs, and now he started like actually doing them, which is I like his shit, man. He fits right in with all of this, so with my style.
I have a question for you guys. This is not an Indian related question. This is just a YouTuber thing. Is there anything you've done with your channel different from motovlogging? Like, say you were just doing bike related content where you were trying to show something. Have you guys ever done anything different with your channel that other channels see as commonplace that motovloggers necessarily don't? Have you guys done anything like challenging? And if so, how have you kind of handled that?
Sorry, say that all again.
Like, have you done anything outside of the scope of motovlogging for your channel? Like, have you done voiceover? Have you done tutorials, anything like that? Because you mentioned my Power Vision video. Like, I did voiceover and computer desktop footage of that.
Yeah, couldn't do it. Didn't know how to do that, so I just said, go look at your channel on my video.
Well, I appreciate it, but I mean, it's like if I try to do new stuff as much as I can. Like, obviously, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was like, I think. Jake, go ahead.
Okay. I think it's just funny. Like I would consider myself creative. I'm not artistic in any way, but
I feel that.
At least with editing. At least with editing, that's kind of where I'm getting at. At least with editing and I can see it here. I know exactly what I want to do. I have problem putting it out.
Yeah.
So, and that comes with just not knowing how to use a camera properly, or like shutter speeds, or like I can see what I want to do here, and I've got so many videos in my brain. I'm like, I just don't know how to produce them. And I'm hoping that with the new stuff I'm getting now, the new cameras that I just purchased and I'm waiting on, that they can help me do what I want to create. Like I want to do what I do with the not necessarily, I would call them tutorials, but I guess they are, right? Like a step-by-step on mods and stuff like that, but with the cinematography that say like Brandon does. And that just I'm not there. I'm not even a freaking quarter of the way there, but they're definitely getting better, I think. But the challenge, it's tough to be original. I think it's
I think especially with tutorials. Yeah.
Being original, given how many, I mean, let alone artists there have been in history, just YouTube alone, being original is the hardest thing you could probably do. Being original is criminally underappreciated because it's like, I mean, how creative can you be with something that's already been defined so much as like a vlog.
Yeah.
There's moto vlogs already. It's like, okay, there was the definitive people that started moto vlogging. Like, what was the name? It's like a number and a third, look at a number and a letter. And there was like, the original big guys like Jake the Garden Snake. There's Do It Dan, Walterific, all that. There's only so much we can do in our genre, if you will, that allows us to still remain true to what we want to do versus what we can show. But like, I'm just talking about specifics for your channel. What have you done outside of your comfort zone that allowed you to grow?
Probably being in front of the camera. Like there's something weird about editing yourself. Like it is a bizarre thing.
Those videos take the longest for me to do.
Yeah.
I'll probably have like 10 fucking takes of one sentence.
And I'm over it now. Like it doesn't bother me. Like I said, I just edit it and fire it out. But what I'm not comfortable with is walking around in public with a camera in front of my face talking to it. You will not catch me doing that yet. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
I want to get
pretty
there.
much don't give a damn what people think, but at the same time I still do. And it's funny, like I don't know, to me that's very millennial to be doing that kind of stuff. But
it's weird.
It really does help us though.
You see someone like it's one thing that if you can get over yourself and just not give two fucks, not give anything at all, and you can do it for yourself, that's just you finally having the balls to do it. Seeing someone else just hold a camera up to their face in public, that's got to be weird.
But you know what the thing too is, like I see somebody do that, I'm like, oh, look at this idiot, and then I carry on with my life. I'm like, okay, so that was the worst criticism I gave that person. So if I'm doing the same thing, that's all I'm gonna get. Like really, it's really not that bad, right? Like, am I really harming you by talking to my dumb little camera? Like no, but it's still it is I think that's a challenge for sure. Is just getting over that whole thing.
You have to put yourself in the position of the people that would look at you and go, well, that's weird.
Yeah,
they're not going to remember that 3 weeks from now.
No, and the same thing as talking with comms on. Like when there's like Kevin, the guy that rides that blue Sportster, we'll literally be side by side. We're full helmets, tinted, and I'm like pointing over here, talking to this or stoplight, and like full conversation because you're talking to each other, and everyone's just looking at you like, what the fuck is this?
Well, buddy, I got news for you. That's way less weird than motovlogging. Because you're just at a red light going ham at the light. Yeah. People are thinking, what's this guy? Is this guy making an orchestra? What's going on?
I got Tourette's. I'm sorry.
You're just sitting there.
A seizure.
Yeah. It's like seeing someone get caught in a spider web from like a distance of like 100 feet away. You don't know what the hell happened. They just flipped out all of a sudden.
Yeah. But I'm trying other challenges. Fucking battery life. That's a massive challenge.
Battery life? What do you mean?
Shitty battery life. Trying to friggin'. Well, I use the GoPro Session 5.
Yeah.
And I love this camera, but I'm moving on. The battery on this I just can't handle anymore.
I bought another when I got the 7, I got another battery. So I got 4 batteries. I was like, unless Bombshell's going out with me, I'm gonna use all of them. I'm taking all of those with me.
I find I don't really record much longer than 45 minutes, but there are some stuff like on the long rides, that I want to get it. But I don't know. I always find I miss some good moments, but I'm not recording. Maybe I'm trying to save that battery life.
Yeah, maybe it's because when I ride, my rides are very short. I don't ride with anyone. I always ride alone, and I always ride in a way that I can bang out a 20-minute video from an hour and a half ride tops. And my battery life is really only an issue. Let's put it this way. If my battery life is an issue, no one's going to want to watch that video because it's just way too much. So
yeah, I find that, and what I'm learning now is those little 5-minute videos, those get the best views.
Yes,
because nobody's watching a 13, 14-minute video.
Yeah,
and what I also want to do with my next installs is, let's say I do the big board kit, is split it up into 5 episodes, because not only will you get a view from the same person for each and every episode, they're more likely to watch the 3-4 minute video versus the 4. Like Uniclocker, like I love his videos, but friggin' they're 50 minutes long. Like I'm not watching. I'm fast forwarding that whole thing.
Yeah.
So that's
you're
the
losing,
reason
you're losing out on great content.
Yeah, that's the reason why Singapore video is going to be 2 parts. I'm not going to do a 12 to 15 minute video.
And that's smart.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's hard to take a 50-minute poop. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's what for me, my drive to work, if I'm driving and I know there's a long video I want to watch that's not something I visually have to watch, I'll throw it on and let it play through the truck and just drive.
Yeah. Yeah, Tulay's asked about battery. I agree with Knox there. Yeah, 45 minutes on a session 5. Unless it's cold out, then I get a little bit less.
Yeah.
So Tulay, you're in the prairies there. You're going to get that cold in the wintertime. But I imagine you're not running in the winter because there's snow. But it's nice to be able to just pop out that battery and throw in a new one.
My if I could answer my own question here, I brought this up because it's trying to do different stuff with my channel. So you guys know I've started doing like the
gaming stuff,
video game stuff. Like I'm trying to if I had the ability to, if I had the time to, I would do like a Tuesday upload just dedicated to that stuff, and then Friday would just be my unaffected moto vlogs. But the problem is I work 40, 50 hours a week, and that's just crazy to balance with editing and whatnot. And I'm one of those real meticulous editors. Like I'll make one sentence sound inhuman just because of how many things I hated the way I sounded in one sentence. I'll edit it all together into real quick, no breaths, nothing.
I was about to say, I want to see you edit a video. I was like watching it, just like tut, 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 tut.
Oh my God, it's a lot of spacebar, it's a lot of clicks, and it's a lot of delete. I promise it's more delete than anything. But my own challenge from my channel is it's kind of psychological as well as physiological, because what I've been doing was I'm trying to do something, spoiler alert, trying to do something new with my channel that I've never done before, in that I have a video where I'm doing voiceover over footage of me going around to certain places with the GoPro on my chest. And the voiceover is a huge challenge for me, because this is the first time I've ever done anything on YouTube where I am, quote unquote, filming in my house where there are other people to hear me constantly. And on YouTube, my videos and a motovlog, I got a loud engine. I'm going 50, 60 miles an hour. You got to talk like this. You got to talk real loud so people can hear you.
But it helps you get energetic, like the energy in the helmet.
Yeah,
but when you're doing voiceovers, when I do a voiceover, I feel like I'm like too calm, collect, and quiet.
Your real inside voice. You're just talking all relaxed because you don't want to bother anyone around you. You got that anxiety you don't have around you. Like if I was at a red light, I could be screaming in your face and you would never know. It's just like
If I didn't have roommates and people sleeping right now, I'd wonder how much different like some of this stuff could be. I feel like I'm toning myself down and trying not to get too excited about certain things. Just
and like my Power Vision video, you can kind of hear me like when I'm doing the screen capture. I'm like,
you're talking softly.
So you're gonna go here, you're gonna update this firmware, it's gonna grab that file, and it's like that doesn't work for the content that I'm trying to do. Like what I'm trying to do.
I loved it. It was so calming, and I was like, I felt you reassured me as I was diving into the matrix and opening files. I'm like, what the fuck? And then you got your soft, just like, it felt good.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
But for the content that I'm trying to do right now, it's like, see, it makes sense to me now because I have headphones on, I can hear you. I'm going to use my normal voice projecting like I should be using. I should be talking like this so that I sound assured over what I'm doing in this video at every point in time, instead of just talking like this. And it's just a huge challenge to go, okay, this is weird because I'm voiceovering things that already happened. I'm not doing them as I'm doing them as I'm doing them. So it's real hard as a person to just connect the two events in your head.
Yeah, the energy doesn't get to flow.
Yeah.
When I did my voiceover on my, I think it was on my Joker machine shift rail that I had to machine down. I edited the whole video and then just talked on my phone as the video was playing with the voiceover, and then threw it on, and it just that's as good as I could get it.
Yeah, like it sucks because I want to go somewhere where there's no people, where I can just scream into a microphone if I wanted to.
Is that not your garage?
No, acoustic wise, it would be exactly what you see. It would be this backdrop providing a little bit of echo proofing, and this dynamic microphone plugged into a guitar instrument. And it's just, this is what you're looking at right now is exactly, well, minus this. What you're looking at is exactly the kind of tools that I'm using to voice over this kind of new series I am trying to do, but I'm finding it way more challenging because everything I mentioned, A, but also B, I have horrible allergies to pets, and I have a cat. So it's like, oh my God, not only do I have this huge anxiety over me of like trying to voice over this, but how nasally do I sound right now? Because I'm just like off camera every 5 seconds.
Is it your cat?
It's my cat, yeah. She adopted us. I love her to death, but she adopted us. She was a stray, and it was getting to the point where I was building a thing for her that she could stay in and not die over the winter. And my girlfriend was like sneaking her in at night. I was like, okay, God damn it, you're cute. You're staying with us.
Yeah.
But I'm actually going to go get allergy shots some point soon. I scheduled an appointment to just finally be done with being allergic every day of my life. So hopefully that'll work.
Hopefully. But other than challenges, like trying to find that creative process and make it come out. And I felt like that lack of skill has almost created its own genre for me, right? Like it's just like a very real, unpolished kind of video that I produce. I feel like a little bit, right? It's just it's quick cuts. It's all I know. It's like I want to get into the editing. I want to get out. And that's what I'm kind of laying down. I mean, there's guys like you look at guys like Street Pete 717. I mean, granted, he's driving a fucking McLaren, but he's running just a simple GoPro, right? He just talks to the stupid GoPro, sends it out, and the dude's got damn near 1 million followers.
Gear and production value.
Yeah,
we overvalue that.
Yep.
If I could say something, I think everyone needs to hear is that we're all focused on being creative and being ourselves, and we're all hypercritical. At least I am. I'm hypercritical of myself, and that's why my edits of me just talking are. It'll take me 20 minutes to edit 2 seconds of myself talking, but it's like I think what everyone needs to know is simply from the fact of you being you. That's what people are kind of following for. They're not following for your eloquence or your.
No, they're liking what content you are creating, whether that's cars, bikes, whatever, and then your personal view on it, at least to an extent, right? Like it's like Dan, do it for Dan. I follow him. His fucking laugh drives me mental when he gets giggling like a fucking idiot. But I was like, I could but that laugh also, I'm like, oh, I could probably be friends with this guy. But he's also the guy that's going to get you arrested while you're driving because he rides like an asshole. But it is what it is. So.
Well,
everybody's got their charm. Pardon?
He gets himself in trouble. Like
That's correct.
Okay, so I haven't watched a Do It With Dan video in a long time, but I really do. I really did enjoy his content. And a long while ago, he was just wheeling, just to do it. And, he wasn't at the time, and he got real bad. Got real bad road rage.
Yeah.
Meatball, you making a drink?
Yeah.
You could hear
just a little one.
But then you get guys like Walterific, who he doesn't wheelie, he doesn't really he speeds every now and then, but he's pretty like road conscious. He creates wholesome fun. He just
always had a
thing. And
dude, Walterific's the guy who got me into motovlogging.
Yeah.
I had no intentions of it until I saw him, and I was just like, wow, he's different. He's wholesome. He's just 300% himself at all times on the camera.
Yeah,
and
he's just chill.
Yeah, he's a really good guy, and he's kind of like me. I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about all the time, but it's kind of pure in the way that you can just see the raw experience of someone experiencing something.
Yeah.
And for someone as easily vocal about what he's feeling and his ability to ad lib just funny shit all the time.
Yeah.
Entertaining.
Yeah, let's say guys like Snowcat, he's a fellow Canadian as well, where he does like just road rage videos. Like
all the time.
The dude is just so angry all the time. I'm like,
yeah, I subscribed to him very early on before I was a moto vlogger, and I kind of got what a lot of people were thinking, where he was like creating road rage incidents, and to an extent, of course, it's YouTube. You have to, for that volume that he did, you kind of have to manufacture conflict, and I got it from him.
Yeah, but I mean, to his credit though, like the GoPro does make it look way further away than it actually is. Like my last video with that deer, fuck, I can't imagine that thing was there. Like that was the middle of downtown Victoria.
Yeah,
there are no deers downtown, and this little fucker came out of nowhere, and I was like he looks fairly close in the GoPro, but he was like I could have touched him. He was so close.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's the problem. It's like with off-roading videos. I don't know if you guys watch a lot of truck videos. Like people do off-roading stuff. If you're in that driver's seat, you're driving off a cliff as far as you're concerned. And
you got to tilt the camera to make it look more aggressive.
Yeah, you got to. The camera footage itself, you go to edit and be like, "What the fuck? I just went over a speed bump."
So I haven't tried to do a video of my Jeep yet, but if I'm off-roading, I'd probably break the thing to make a video that was worth watching.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the camera adds 30 pounds, and it also detracts 50 points of adrenaline.
Like even like say rock bouncing, those guys that's brutal. And you watch it, you're like, well, I mean, it looks brutal, but it's like you think, oh, I could do that in my Jeep. No, you fucking can't.
No,
that shit's vertical, right? And it just takes away from all of it.
Yeah, rock crawling is something else because it's like you can ride the craziest roller coasters in your life, and if you're rock crawling and you're 100% of the result is all your input, it's wild.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it. Honestly. It's way too much money that I could afford to lose.
Off-roading, it's a lot of money. That was my first passion. Like my Jeep, I've got countless dollars into it to the point where I just refuse to sell it because I know how much is there.
Yeah. I've got my Suzuki Samurai, and that's so much money just to get running at a daily driving street sort of trail, maybe fire roads level. That's a lot of money involved. I'm not willing to take that thing and rock crawling because it's just I can't afford to add a foot of lift and add the craziest, most flexiest suspension. I mean, it's just not worth it.
Aren't you leaf springs all four corners?
Yep, I am.
IFS front.
No, it's leaf springs all around.
And it's cheap lift, bro.
Well, it's cheap lift, but it's not cheap real. A lot of articulation.
Meatballs. You got JK, don't you, Meatball?
Yeah, JKUR.
Now that's expensive to lift.
That is expensive.
I did it myself though.
Did you? Everything JK is expensive.
I've got some early on videos with my Samurai. My roommate is driving his '79 Jeep Wagoneer, and it's leaf spring all around, obviously, because it's late '70s. But he's got it lifted like the stock Wagoneer from that time looks like an overgrown station wagon. His is like 2 levels below a monster truck on 35s. He's got it on what are they called? It's like made by IS something. The not mud boggers.
Interco,
Interco.
The Interco Super Swampers.
Super Swampers.
TSLs or whatever.
TSLs. That's what I'm thinking about. Yep.
Yeah.
He's got it on those, and it looks awesome. I love it, but it's just you can't drive it on the road because it needs to, like, your braking distance is like 100 feet with that thing. He's still got the original brake booster in that and all that.
What year's the Jeep?
79.
79.
He also has an 02 Wrangler, and
Yeah.
now he's got I want to say 89 Dodge Ram dually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's got a lot more money than I have. I just have the Samurai that doesn't run yet because I just replaced the engine in it. I got it totally rebuilt by an engine shop, and I'm still trying to piece it back together to get it in running condition.
Yeah, that shit'll. It never ends though. I mean, same thing goes for the bikes too, right? Like it's just like everything's just so expensive, but god damn, do I love it.
But it's just funny because it's like with my last bike, not with the Scout that I have now, but with my last bike had a bigger engine than my Samurai does. My car, my truck.
What's the Samurai 1.6?
1.3. 1.6 if you pull the engine out of a Suzuki Sidekick, also known as the Vitara around the rest of the world.
That's right. Yeah, that's sure. 1.3, eh?
1.3 carbureted. It doesn't even push. You're lucky if you're getting 80 at the crank horsepower.
Oh, that's sort of sad.
Well, that's why
I think I got like 285 on my Jeep.
Reduce it down to like 700 to 1 when you go, just so you got the gearing to get over the rocks.
Yeah, people do make dual cases. They'll put the Suzuki Sidekick transfer case in front of the Samurai transfer case. They'll have a married together piece, and you could just idle, and it would crawl over rocks because it weighs less than 2,000 pounds.
Yeah. That two-lane Indian parts are no cheaper than Harley. They're definitely not cheaper, but the amount of shit you can get for Harley is just unreal.
Yeah, my exhaust setup with the Power Vision was about $1,000.
Yeah, I was 800 for my exhaust and probably 300 for the 350 for the tuner.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah, mine same. Yep.
All Black Friday sales. But
I didn't luck out like that.
No. Well, it is what it is. I just need that big bore kit to go on sale.
I'll tell you what, man. The Scout, I don't think I would change it. I like its engine. Big bore kit sounds fun, but it really sounds expensive. And
yeah, it's $1,200.
Yeah, I think I'd rather pay off the bike first.
That's the responsible thing to do.
That's why I don't have a Chieftain right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, haters gonna hate.
That's right.
I want the dark horse, and I just gotta make adult decisions first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, whatever.
See, my ideal setup would be like before I knew the FTR was coming out. My ideal setup was Scout for go fast, and eventually Springfield for go long. And now I'd rather get rid of the Scout, have the FTR for daily, and have the Springfield for trips and maybe sometimes daily. It's weird because now that they've basically introduced a sport bike into the fray. And before I was like, the Scout's a sport bike in cruiser clothing. To me, anyway. I've ridden sport bikes and it's nothing like the Scout, but at the same time, the Scout's nothing like any cruiser I've ever tried.
No, it's not. And it's one of those things you just never really understand it until you're on it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm keeping my bobber for fun and then the Chieftain for longer trips and maybe going to work. And the Proly because it's sort of collectible.
Really?
And I could scare the shit out of myself with it.
What's what model and year Aprilia do you have again?
2000 RSV Millie.
Okay.
So it's a 998 V twin.
Oh, okay. So is that the same engine as the Shiver?
I'm not sure. It's actually a Rotax engine.
Oh, Rotax. Okay.
Yeah, they make airplane engines.
Yeah,
so they built. Yeah, before they went to V4, they had the V twins like that.
I tell you what, though, man, that it's real hard pressed on me to determine what sounds better, the new Yamaha R1 or that Aprilia V4. That V4, RS-V4 sounds nuts.
Oh, my friend has two of them.
Oh my
The
god.
Tuono and RS-V4.
Well, the Tuono is even going to be even beefier with that low tune. But have you guys heard the new Panigale V4?
Not in person.
Well, I haven't heard it in person either, but have you heard it in general?
Oh yes.
What do you guys think about it?
It would fucking kill me, but amazing.
Without a doubt.
I think Tony Carvajal's just got one. I watched him because he had the bobber, was wheeling the bobber, and one of the first videos I watched, and I'm almost certain he's got one.
I was disappointed. I thought the Ducati V4 was going to sound like an absolute monster, no pun intended. I think the V4 sound, at least the videos I've seen, they're all track videos. So maybe they don't have the best exhaust on them. I think they're probably stock, but it sounded very tame.
Yeah.
When I hear
sorry, R1's unreal sounding. That thing, it is that flat plane crank. You can hear that thing coming from. It's so distinct.
Yeah, the cross plane it's nuts. There's no inline for it. Sounds like that.
Yeah,
but
it's gorgeous.
The RS-V4, it's crazy how precise doesn't sound like the right word, but machine-like and regular it sounds for how much grunt it's got as a 4-cylinder engine. It's kind of crazy. And you think, okay, Italian bike V4, probably going to sound like the Aprilia when the new Panigale comes out. No, it's the Panigale. To me, it sounds really tame and very machine-like and not very aggressive sounding like the Aprilia does.
Yeah, my friend has a 2010 RS-V4 with a race ECU and a Provoc race exhaust.
Oh.
So he's pushing like 195 to 200 horsepower with no rider aids.
God damn.
He slid it sideways around a turn at like 80 once.
Oh my god. Was there a lot of smoke?
I wasn't there for that.
Oh yeah. Well, it's probably a lot of browning of the pants.
Yes.
Not for him.
Oh. No?
He chews through tires on all of his bikes.
How's his health insurance?
Probably doesn't matter. He's pretty smooth, pretty fast. I don't bother trying to keep up with him.
Yeah, I don't have that kind of balls.
One time I was out on the RSV and I was starting to lift the tire out of turns. He was just cruising behind me.
Yeah.
So he could have passed me.
There's a kind of where near home here. There's a loop. We call it the loop, and it's probably 100 kilometers all the way around. It's through old logging roads that have been paved and whatnot. And one of the guys I ride with is on an MT-09. And he just it's a very, like you were saying earlier, it's a very upright position.
Yep.
Rear control, and he just like the corner. It's like he's not even trying. I'm like looking through the corners, leaning, counter steer, and he's just like it's as if it's nothing. It's just when the bike's built for it, it's crazy.
Yeah, it makes it very easy. The turns I've taken on a test ride with an XSR 900/MT-09, they just felt buttery smooth. And if I did that on my Scout, I would be dragging the belt guard.
Yeah.
And I would have to be shoving it downwards in that turn. It's just crazy how they're just razors. That's all Japanese machines are. They're just designed to operate like razors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've learned my RSV. If I take a turn and I think I'm going to go a little wide, give it gas and just lean more. It'll do it.
What do we got here?
Yeah, he was talking about the FZ07. I was like, yeah, that is the best sounding parallel twin.
Yeah, he's got a I can never say it. What's the Apokovich? What's that exhaust?
Akrapovic or
Akrapovic. No, no, it's not.
Krapovich or Akrapovic?
Yoshima exhaust.
Yoshimura.
Sure, thank you, Yoshimura. And when he lets off on, it's got a real, the bark that the AMG Mercedes V8 has.
Yes.
I compare it. I mean, it's not obviously not like that, but I compare it to. It's got that little when he lets off, it's like this weird like grunt. It's like, whoa. It's a really cool sound that it makes. That's a neat motor. That's a good one.
Yeah, 2-lane blacktop. That's sorry. The AMG V8 is awesome. Especially in the
63 black. I like that one.
I was talking about it's the car itself. It's called like the GS something. No, it was GTR 500. I can't remember. It's like a Viper if it was a German V8. Yeah, that thing sounds ridiculous, and I've heard it get a lot of praise, but it's way out of my price range, so I try not to look at things like that. But he was talking about the FC07, MT07, XSR 700. Finally, now that we get to the States, Jake the Garden Snake has a FC07, and from everyone I've ever heard about that engine, it is the most bark you'll ever get for the least amount of bite, because it's like 50 horsepower. It's like 57, 60 horsepower tops from the factory.
Yeah, one of the guys I ride with, Justin, he's been in a couple of my videos. He got a can tune from the same place that I got my bike tune, and they say he should be around 80, but that's untested at this point.
You can probably get him up there. It's probably not hard.
We've never fully given it a scoot off the stoplight, not yet at least. It'll happen. We'll see where we land.
They sound, I mean, I just have not heard, I mean, outside of like a rephased, rebuilt XS 650 from the 80s, I've never heard any Yamaha or Japanese parallel twin just sound so angry.
Yeah, it's
well, gents, I think we've gone over the allotted hour that John has tried to set for us.
Yeah, there's some people that like the shorter ones, but you know what? It's on my channel. I'll take the hit. It's fine.
Hey man,
I'm actually about to hit my 4,000 watch hours. I'm probably in another like 8 days, I think. The way things have been going
to meet your partner requirement.
Yeah, I mean, of course, still need the 1,000
subs.
Yeah, but I was like, I thought, and like when this whole first started, I was like, 4,000 watch hours. That's fucking ridiculous. And
yeah, well, I mean, like, if you want to keep hosting and it helps you out, I'm all for it.
So I think Dazzle said he's going to host the next one.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, and it's really easy to host. So
yeah, I was going to say I'll probably do it once or twice every now and then if you guys want.
This next year we can figure out if we're what format we'll have to change to, but
yeah,
with Google Hangout shutting down.
Yeah, that's weird. I was like, I see a lot of people use it, and
is it going to be like you have to go to your YouTube and just like say host live video or go live now or something? Or
that's all it is right now. There's like that. There's when you do the Google Hangout, you can set it up like I did, where you have the list and then click it and it'll do the Google Hangouts. They have other ones where I think it's called OSX or something like that, but you can set up the border and all the crazy shit.
Yeah, that's probably like OBS or something. That's what I use.
Yeah, that's it.
That video on the PVCX.
Yeah, I was like, it's another one of those things where the program, I'll probably use like 10% of its mass amount of skill that it has.
Yeah, like I'm eventually going to try and get into live streaming stuff because I kind of want to maybe start like something on Twitch just to dick around with on days that I'm not editing. Just something to have fun with. But I need to get into YouTube stuff too, because I mean, I don't know how many people. I think the majority of people who are going to watch this are going to be watching it after the fact instead of live. So,
well, especially with our time zone.
Yeah, definitely that too.
That's the biggest hinder for us.
Well, for you, it's like 3 a.m. right now, right?
2.
2, yeah, 2 a.m.
Yep.
Yeah, just 2.
Yeah, it's 5 here, so I need to go to bed.
Yeah. That's I got a. I don't know what it really is yet. I got tagged by another dude on YouTube for it's a like a research group for future bike stuff, and they like the dude kind of coached me through it because I told him I was like, leave me to water, I'll find a way to drink because he was asking me like they call them the 3 Harley questions of like pretty much trying to find out if you're loyal to whatever brand you're with because Indian Scout made one of like they're all doing like mid-sized cruisers. And Indian Scout was on the list, and I was like, so you have to bring your stuff to show that you ride one, your insurance or registration. So I don't know what the hell it's going to be, but I was like, I just want to go find out about new motorcycle shit. And they're like, well, we're going to pay you $100. I'm like, oh, that's a great bonus. I was all, but tell me all the motorcycle shit. And then like one of the last questions was, does anybody in your house do media or news or this or that? And I'm like, he didn't say YouTube. And I was like, no. Everything you just said.
Yeah. I've been approached like for media content creation network stuff and then just like get out of here.
I was just excited to see whatever the hell they're talking about. I thought it was I didn't know if it's gonna be one brand or if it's gonna be certain things. So I was like, shit, I'll learn more stuff. That's my day off anyway.
Yeah, I mean
it's 45 minutes, so
I can only speak for myself, but like people who approach you for like product reviews or anything like that, I have like just above 2,000 followers. I'm immediately critical of anyone who wants to come to me for my opinion.
Speaking of that, we were talking about Viking bags earlier.
Yeah.
They have a whole nother section with Viking gear or Viking cycle, or I think it's Viking cycle. They hit up like a shit ton of smaller YouTube channels, like with 100 to 200 subscribers.
Yeah.
And they gave them gear and have people do reviews for them. And I think it's smart because their stuff is cheaper. So it makes sense who they're trying to go to.
Nice.
I was like, I'm really proud of his name's Digging the Hound. He's in Texas. And he gave their weather gloves a complete honest review. They're supposed to be rain resistant, water resistant. Put them in the shower for like 7 minutes wearing them, and it just soaked all the way through.
Wow.
And I was like, do that. I was like, hey, honest reviews are where it's at, and they're cheap. The material or the prices are cheaper, but I was like, they're doable. I just thought it was weird that they're hitting up everybody like that.
Yeah, I'm open to stuff like that. It's just like maybe it's just because I'm sour from things that have happened with me before. Like I've had a guy contact me about reviewing Suzuki Samurai parts, and he knows that I'm a motorcycle channel, but he knows that I also do that stuff. And he's like, well, maybe you can maybe you can get your engine rebuilt through our shop for free if you just do a little bit of advertising from us. And I'm just thinking, a little bit of advertising means not honest. That means probably something that should be signed by contract, and that means why are you coming to me? Because I'm small. I'm immediately skeptical of that stuff, and it's just like I'm going to stay away from it. If you're going to send me stuff for free and you just want an honest review, sure, in a heartbeat, I'll give you whatever you want. Because if whatever you want is honesty, then let's do it.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, I can't unless you give me a check for like an exorbitant amount of money. I'm gonna say what I feel. So that means InvictvsNox has a buyout price of $1,000,000, and it can be yours for whatever you want as long as you write that on the check.
Mine's a White Smoke Chieftain. If anybody's listening.
Yeah, right.
I'll take delivery to my house. Thank you. Fuck it, I'll come pick it up.
I'm going to keep teasing you about a Chieftain. You and Brandon.
Oh, man, I want one so bad.
Hey,
I'm just glad I don't live with them. Like he has to live with him. Well, no, stealing fucking key fobs, leaving the house.
I can see Brandon on a Chieftain. I can also see him on the FTR.
You can see Brandon, hopefully, with a GoPro attached to his head and high-siding a new Chieftain. I hope that. Really, Brandon, I'm sorry if you're watching this video. I want to do that.
We'll see what he does. I mean, hope he gets back into it because he's not putting anything out. He's been super quiet and.
Yeah, he's been real quiet, and I mean that's kind of harmful to the channel. I missed my upload this Friday because I'm doing this video I was talking to you guys earlier about. I just like the whole unexpected challenges of doing voiceover. It's like, okay, this is not going to get done in the time I thought it was going to get done in. So yeah, I'm gonna try and do some more motorcycle stuff. I'm gonna try and do an oil change video, like no bullshit oil change. Just get it done in like a 4-minute flat space of time.
I did my very first oil change. And I found out that if you use an external microphone on the GoPro with the wireless settings on, it clips.
Oh, yeah.
It interferes, and it ruined the whole video. And I was like,
oh.
So I didn't put it out. I might just do it just because I fucking don't care. But we'll see. I'm sure another oil change will come my way. But I actually am in the process of building a bike lift right now.
Building?
Nice.
Building. So we've been recording that, and that'll come out soon too.
Like a hydraulic?
Yeah, air over hydraulic.
Nice.
I mean, you could buy one for $600.
Yeah.
Or you could make one for $800. Obviously, you're gonna make one. Why would you?
Or you could use your friend's forklift.
That too, but apparently I'm a glutton for punishment.
So I don't know if you guys have seen the video I did. I did an oil change video. No, I'm sorry. I did a battery change video on a Suzuki 1400 Intruder. Man, that was sketchy. So what I did, so the battery on this bike, it's not under the seat. It's down lower and back behind, just under the swing arm. It's a little compartment that opens up from the bottom, so the battery drops out. It doesn't go in, it drops out. So you have to lift the bike. And I was like, I don't have a bike lift. I don't even have like a motorcycle floor jack. So me and my buddy, we just shoved some wood under the frame of the bike, lifted it up real sketchy. Like, I mean, like you could touch the bike and it would have fallen off onto its side. And we put it on like a rim, just a normal car rim to keep it elevated. And we had to like, what did I do to get that thing open? Like you had to undo the thing to get the battery box open. No, the sketchy thing was the battery I put in was an Odyssey battery. And it has all these plastic like lines going upside the battery, so it's not the same size as the stock, but it's a way better battery. So like I put like motor oil on the battery and used the floor jack to just shove the battery into the goddamn bike. Like the bike was lifting up with the battery being the only mounting point on this floor jack. The weight of the bike just started eventually kind of slowly going down onto the battery. It was sketchy as fuck, and it's a good thing I wrecked that bike because the next owner of that bike, if they ever die, that battery is not coming out. You're replacing that part of the frame.
All right, you're never working on my bikes.
Backyard mechanics.
Well, okay, so to be fair, at first I took a Dremel and just shaved the outside of the battery first to get a little surface area down.
That's safe. I like it.
Very safe, yeah. Me and him the whole time were like, this is going to end very poorly. But it didn't.
Well, it did.
This is why I work on my own bikes.
Oh, yeah. Me too. Because I can't get mad at anyone but myself, and I already hate myself enough.
Oh.
You gotta have that healthy level of hate for yourself to make slightly entertaining YouTube content, I think.
Yeah. Can't laugh at yourself, then
Oh yeah, you gotta laugh at yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said can't off yourself. I was like, man.
Oh.
They're making
No. I'm
not
not going dark.
No, I'm not doing that, obviously. But yeah, I think I am gonna head on out of here, you guys. It's been good talking.
Yeah. The same here.
Again, thanks everybody that tunes in every time. That's awesome.
All right, thanks everyone.
Yeah.
See y'all later. Good talking to you again. Hopefully see you in a month.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
All right, later.
See you guys.
Bye.